you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu Butters, coming to you live and direct from the Vista. Smoking out fam with all that dang shit on my left. Your boy, Blue.
A wise man once said, if you're drowning in pussy, swim to the butt.
Oh, my far right. Engineer number one to do, so people out on the Bridge Sports Chronos.
Happy Kwanzaa, y'all. It's day 4, I think? It's 4, right?
Something like that, yeah. 4 days? Yeah, 4.
We'll talk about Kwanzaa in a minute, but yeah, I learned some new stuff about Kwanzaa and other stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. I know if you go back if you rerun the tape, I said Kwanzaa was a bullshit holiday. That was me being a dumbass. So if you want to say it's a made-up holiday, it's fine, but so are all holidays. They're all fucking made up. So who cares? Anyway, let's get it rolling.
Right on. Hopefully, we may have Stitch joining us. He may just jump on in at some point. Old Ninja's in the wind. But, you got some statistics for us, Kronos.
I do have the statistics. And let's see. Listener of the week would be Serenity Bisbo. Thank you very much for listening to us. We really appreciate it. And first in the chat would be my boy Mike. What's going on? He says happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well.
I wonder if that user is a Sailor Moon fan. Serenity?
Maybe. Or a Serenity fan.
Well, actually, you know what? That's in the American version, because her name is like Ursula or something like that. Are you so... Yeah, Sailor Moon, like the girl, like the American version, they gave her name Serenity, but the Japanese version of her name is like you. It's you something. Let me see.
Look at I don't know Sailor Moon all like that.
That shit fucked me up because like they re-released the new animation and it's like Sailor Moon Crystal, and they kept calling her like a different name. I was like, that's not her name. Her name is Serenity, but it's oh god, I can't think how to pronounce this. Usagi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Fucking weird.
We do not have Old Ninja with us. He usually pours out some type of beverage for the dearly departed. It's usually Urban, and he brings it. But I think we do have some folks on the list, some heavy hitters, I think, right?
We do. So I think you should probably talk about John Madden, since you are more of a football fan than I am at this point anyway. So...
Yeah, I mean, I stopped watching the NFL, but I will say.
Oh wait, hold on! You stopped watching NFL? What? Why did you?
Yeah, I stopped for this is like year 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. What was your reason? Why'd you stop?
Oh, for me, it was all about I was a Raider fan and them leaving California. I was like, nah,
Oh, all right.
that was it.
Okay.
I mean, there's other good legitimate reasons, of course, but.
Oh yeah.
What do you have? What shit? Jesus Christ! There's like three heavy hitters on this one. Actually, 2 super heavy hitters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's do Madden first. John Madden. He's from. I know he's. And I'm gonna freeball it though. From Daly City, I believe. He was a Super Bowl winning coach for the Raiders back in like 70s. Obviously, a broadcaster in the NFL for like 30 plus years with Pat Summerall. He was famous for doing the color commentary. He was excellent at like just giving these insightful like little tidbits on life and jokes and shit while calling the fucking game. And like he was also famous for
Stitches came in.
Oh yeah, man, we're talking about Madden.
Sweet. I got caught up a little bit, but I didn't mean it. You got what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I was just giving a little bit of background, telling folks from Daly City, Super Bowl winning coach, broadcaster, and the fact that he was famous for never getting on fucking airplanes. He was always like, I'm going to take a bus there every single fucking time. Fuck your planes. Because he had I believe, a phobia of flying and whatnot. But the biggest thing for me is, obviously, he put his name on video games for a football franchise that has been around since early 90s, I think, or late 80s. I mean, it's been forever and a fucking day.
Yeah.
Dude, like, were they even like on old school like Sega Genesis games? There was Madden games that too.
Before that.
Damn.
And it's been literally forever, and it's annualized. Obviously,
God damn! I think hold on, real quick. I think it was 1988
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
This is back. So
Yeah.
back in '88, it was on fucking DOS. God damn. I'm
Yep.
just saying.
Holy shit.
Back in the day, there was there was a few like decent football games. There was you know, Madden, which when Madden first came out on DOS, nobody fucking played that shit. To be honest with you, it was on Genesis, probably where most people played it, or on the NES, which was John Madden Football, which came out in the '90s. But there was also There was also a whole bunch of other like really good football games out back then. Like, what was that?
Tecmo?
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl was a great one. 10-Yard Flight. There was a whole bunch of other ones, but the thing with Madden though is they kept getting better and better and better, and then they just kept it kind of the same for a while. Slightly better, slightly worse.
Yeah. But you got to remember too, the NFL license isn't like shared now. You know what I mean?
No,
so
they crushed it.
if you want to play, if you're like a Jets fan or New York Giants or Miami Dolphins, whatever fan you are, and you want to play as those players, it's Madden or fucking nothing. So that's the thing. And so his name just became synonymous for a whole generation since, again, like Chrono said, since the late 80s, with this video game monster franchise. So, Stitch, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it. It did start out where they had just like cities, like it would be like Chicago versus Dallas and stuff. Then eventually, I think Tecmo Bowl was the one that first had the NFLPA approval to have the names in the game, and then Madden just was like, yeah, give me that, and just snatched it like Debo's.
How about Madden? How about his voice too, bitch?
So yeah, and then I mean, it's so sad because it's like he's an icon and everything. And in our time on this fucking planet, we've had some icons that really have like stamped their name on certain like genres. Like and it sucks that they passed. Like we talk about like Hugh Hefner, the past, he was a fucking icon in name. You just have all these. I mean, he did it in two separate fucking things. I mean, he was an already elite fucking NFL coach, Super Bowl winning, Hall of Fame coach, and then turned it into a completely different direction. With just games. And it's just like, I'm sure there are a shit ton of people that have never heard John Madden fucking do commentary, even in a broadcasting booth, but know him for that fucking game. And that game has just been printing money. And like you said, I mean, the game is sort of just rinse, repeat, roster updates. But I mean, it's still synonymous. It's just, you don't even say what year it is. You don't say, oh, I got Madden 2022 or whatever. It's just, I got Madden. And it's everyone knows that's the new game that you're getting and shit. And I mean, he did, I guess. I didn't know he grew up in Daly City. I heard he like lived in like the Dublin area, but he's in the Bay Area, regardless. And really sucks that I mean, he's not really, I guess, with us anymore and stuff. He's sort of just been on the low, and I guess I haven't really heard too much like from him. But regardless, 85 years old, I believe it was. He lived till, so fucking amazing life, and definitely his legacy just will. His legacy ain't going nowhere. I mean, he's going to be, while we're going to be long gone, and they're still going to be printing out Madden football games and printing money off it. So kudos to him and just building an empire.
He taught people how to read defenses. Like, if you've never touched the football in your life, just playing the Madden franchise, you know, oh, it looks like they're showing blitz here. Oh, it's cover two. Oh, this is man versus zone. And things like that just sound like a foreign language to the average person based on this video game. You know what I mean? It makes sense to people. So,
I also feel like, you know, EA is probably one of the bigger publisher of the Madden games, but like, I feel like Madden kind of built up the other genres of like basketball games and soccer and all that. Like, they all kind of follow the same formula that the Madden games do.
Like a franchise.
You got the players, you got the licenses, even like almost even like the covers are damn near the fucking same. You got the player, you got the number one player of the. I mean, I don't know if it's the number one player, but you got that one player that's on the front cover, and it's the same for all different other gaming.
But doesn't matter in curse.
Sport games.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to
You don't want to do that. All of a sudden, you got herpes and you got a broken leg, and your wife's beating you up on your wife or some shit. It's just.
That shit was like
Go to jail for dog fighting.
Yeah.
that shit was like clockwork. Like literally for I don't know 7, 8 years, a decade plus, whatever it was. Like the following year after you were on the fucking cover of the box, you would have problems, injuries, legal problems, death, whatever the fuck would go wrong.
Drunk driving.
Except for I think Tom Brady. Tom Brady made it through.
Yeah.
But like,
so
the rest of them. I mean, like if I named off who was on the cover, and then you'd be like, oh, well, they have issues now.
Mm-hmm. There was a bunch.
There was a bunch. Hold on, I'm trying to get to a point to where Eddie George, Dante Culpepper, Marshall Faulk, Michael Vick, Ray Lewis, Donovan McNabb, Sean Alexander. Keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say Falk and McNabb though had pretty decent careers, but maybe the following year.
I think it was the following year. Yeah, Vince Young. Brett Favre, which is like that's when he started his downfall. Troy Polamalu, Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees. There's a whole bunch where just like after they were on there, they just kind of.
They actually have that shit listed on the part of the Wikipedia or wiki for the Madden game. It says there's a section that says curse.
Odell Beckham's on there. There's a whole bunch. Anyway, I was trying to think of like when we're talking about John Madden, because obviously when it comes, because I think that people are more familiar. People that play Madden games. First, I think there's a whole subset of people that never play football, and that don't even watch football, but they play fucking Madden games. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to think, what other athlete or sports icon reached anywhere near that level? And in my mind, there's really only one, but nowhere near that level, and it's Tony Hawk. But it was only Tony Hawk from like fucking years ago. You know what I mean? Because Tony Hawkins, back in like the early 2000s, the Tony Hawk games were the shit. But he didn't do it like the John Madden. It wasn't every year where they were updating, the latest, skaters and the latest places and stuff like that. They just didn't do that. What Madden did was they proved that they can make a franchise off of his name and just update it every single year off of this sport. And 2K tried to do it, but then they crushed 2K because they got the licenses to the NFL. I think recently they kind of fixed that, and then other franchises like we mentioned started doing that too, to like try to put things on lock to where basically just update. You do some incremental updates to the gameplay, maybe some of the graphics, and then the rosters, and you just keep it going from there. And Madden's like basically this is almost like what COD does now. They do like the Madden effect. Of where, look at COD, Call of Duty. Sorry, if people that you should know what fucking COD means. Anyway, Call of Duty.
I was like cash on delivery. What the fuck?
If you play Call of Duty now, it's like you're getting the same fucking gameplay. You're getting this pretty much the same weapons. If you do a multiplayer, you're even getting the same fucking maps on a lot of them. They do like, we're gonna do the throwback from like 2 games ago. We're bringing it back. Blah 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 blah. And that to me, it's like it's a Madden style of really doing a game franchise. And honestly, I can't fault because they're making fucking gajillion dollars. John Madden changed gaming. So he probably also changed football, but he definitely changed gaming.
What's so crazy? Like I'm not the biggest sports fan, but I've definitely played a couple of the Madden games. Like a good handful of them. Like over the fucking decades of his games being out there, but like a lot of this shit I didn't know about. Like I didn't know he was. I knew he was a commentator, but I didn't know he was a football coach for the Oakland Raiders for a while. And like he took him. Or did they win? Did we win the Super Bowl with the Raiders?
Yeah, he did.
I just know him doing commentation and like most of the stuff I know of him is just all Madden games, like boom, like the little catchphrases and stuff.
Well, and one other big thing to mention too. I mean, I don't play Madden anymore. Obviously, I did for years and years and years. but like it's an esport too. You know what I mean? They have ridiculously well-funded tournaments and all that other stuff, and it's been popular on streaming and all of that shit. Like it's big time shit. So just putting that out there, man. We could go on and on Madden. What else? Who else we got?
Yeah. So we also have Harry Reid, who is a political figure. So give me a second here. You know what's funny is I read a book on not necessarily Harry Reid, but it was one of Harry Reid's not advisor. I think it was an advisor. Anyway, it was a book about the Jesus Christ, I forget the name of that goddamn thing now. That screws up the entire Congress.
Kill Switch?
Yeah, it's called Kill Switch. Thank you. And it's about the filibuster. And it's about how, and it was one of Harry Reid's like main people that wrote it. And it's a great book. And it gave me some insight into Harry Reid. And also how they use a filibuster really well, but then also kind of fucked it up because now you see what the Republicans are doing. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm just saying they used a filibuster during President Obama's era, and then this is why we see the issues that we have now, because they use it kind of too much, and now the Republicans are doing the same thing, but even worse, of like not getting anything through Congress. So it's a great book if you want to if you want to understand why shit ain't getting done in Congress. Read Kill Switch. So it's left leaning, but it's still a good book to really understand like the historical context on like how filibustering was like super racist. Still kind of is. But, yeah, it's breaking Congress. Anyway, let me read the eloquent things that Old Ninja had to say about Senator Harry Reid. I thought he was going to be on here. If I knew it was not going to be on, I would have wrote it my own thing. Anyway, he was a Nevada Democratic senator who heavily influenced Barack Obama for his run for president. So did, Oprah, but... he grew up in a small mining town with no running water to become the longest living Senate Majority Leader. He was instrumental in passing the Affordable Health Care Act, was a rival of Mitch McConnell, and he died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 82. God damn. Anytime I hear about somebody that has like some pancreas issues, that's like a terrible... Because I had an issue for like a long time with my pancreas, and it's a fucking terrible way to go. Because I know that the vast majority of folks that have like an issue with the pancreas and they die from it, they're probably dying screaming. So, yeah, it's fucking brutal. Or just super drugged up and don't know what the fuck they are. So yeah, that's terrible. He definitely put his stamp on American history, but kind of behind the scenes. So if you read Kill Switch, you'll understand more about who he was as a person, at least from like filibustering and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And the book is called Kill Switch: The Rise of the Modern Senate and the Crippling of American Democracy. Sorry, democracy.
That's a word. Yes.
There we go. All right, who else we got?
We also have Archbishop Desmond Tutu, which we all should know. He was definitely a part of abolishing the South African apartheid. So that's probably where most of us knew him from. We're a little bit older than maybe some of our listeners, but apartheid was still a thing when we were growing up, and kind of still is now. I mean, to be honest with you, and like more than just South Africa. But anyway, Desmond Miplu, I don't know why he puts the whole name in there, but Tutu was a South African Anglican bishop and theologian known for his work as an anti-apartheid and human rights activist. For 6 decades, Tutu was affectionately known as the Arch, was one of the primary voices for exhorting the South African government to end apartheid, the country's official policy of racial segregation. As an activist, he stressed nonviolent protest and foreign economic pressure to bring about universal suffrage. After apartheid ended in the early 90s and long imprisoned, Nelson Mandela became president of the country. Tutu was named chair of South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission. The commission was set up to investigate past human rights abuses committed by both pro and anti-apartheid groups. Tutu's civil rights and human rights work led to prominent honors from the world, including the 1984 Nobel Peace Prize. It's pretty awesome. Former U.S. President Barack Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009. He retired from public office or from public life in 2010. He's remembered for having a great sense of humor. He has been in ill health for years. In 2013, he underwent tests for a persistent infection. He was admitted to hospitals several times. In the following years, he died of cancer at the age of 90.
Incredibly powerful speaker, incredibly powerful, really just fighter for human rights. One of the things that I encourage, especially from an American perspective, read about how the U.S. government and just U.S. officials talked about the apartheid regime in South Africa during the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. It's disturbing and disgusting. The U.S. supported the hell out of the racist, white supremacist regime in South Africa that was completely repressive. One of the other really incredible books to read, even though it isn't about Desmond Tutu per se, but read Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, because he talks about those, growing up in apartheid South Africa with basically his white mother and black father, their marriage being illegal. So just again, think of it, and he's about our age. So just think about that, put it all in perspective. But again, back to Desmond Tutu, an incredible person. Look him up even on YouTube. Just listen to the way he spoke about people. It was just an incredibly powerful thing.
Yeah,
that's all I got. Anyway, man, those were heavy ones. You got any others?
Big hitters.
No, I mean, we probably killed somebody's, I guess, innocence.
Yeah,
somebody's vibe. He killed somebody's vibe.
All this heavy shit you guys talking about. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? It's supposed to be a lot of nerd shit. That is nerd shit, goddammit.
Yeah, be a nerd that understands the historical perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But they say if you don't learn from history, then history is doomed to repeat its shit.
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, what's pissing me off right now? You know what really grinds my gears? Sorry, I had to say that.
Oh, that's your soapbox, man.
Right now they're digging up all these fucking time capsules. I think it was of General Robert E. Lee. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, why is this news? You're just digging up some racist shit. I don't give a fuck about this guy's stuff. Like,
I don't know if it.
Go ahead.
Just gonna say, it turns out that he was actually black and doing whiteface this whole time.
But he's for slavery. So I don't.
Yes.
If you're for slavery, I don't give a fuck what color you are. Fuck you. But yeah, I don't. Now first they found one, and I was like, all right, cool. Now it's gonna end because they found one, and it didn't seem that interesting. I didn't read much about it, and then they found another one. I'm like, God damn it, another one! Like, fucking stop. Like, listen, news people, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell us that we're gonna pull down all these fucking statues because it's all racist shit, and then also highlight the fact that you're digging up fucking time capsules up from underneath these racist statues. Why are you covering this? Why are you covering this?
Yep.
Stop it. I don't give a fuck what he had. I don't give a fuck what kind of shoes he had. I don't give a fuck what kind of gun he shot. I don't give a fuck who he fucked. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. Fuck him and his couch. He destroyed part of America. Him and his whole fucking group. So why are you doing this?
Yeah, the celebration of the Confederacy is by definition, regardless of your color or whatever, anti-American.
Yes.
Like, period, point blank, treasonous shit. So, I appreciate that it's important to learn and understand all of that American history. I completely am in favor of that, but you don't need to celebrate that for shit.
Yeah, that's a
cautionary tale.
Everything that I've been seeing, they're not giving any sort of he also had a bunch of slaves and was for slavery. It's like, oh my God, look at the fucking shoes that he had. Look at all this other. I'm like, no, why do you give a fuck? Like, seriously, you applaud people for throwing their statues into the ocean, but then also elevate them again because they had some fucking box made out of bronze in the fucking ground. Like, get the fuck out of here. Stop it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's dumbass fucking shit.
Oh man! All right, we're on fire today.
Oh.
I'm glad you're back with us. God damn it! It's been a few weeks. Let's start with you, man. You've been missing in action. How are you? What you been up to? How was Christmas?
Christmas was good. Baby had a good old time. There's a big difference between year one and year two. It's like year one, well, even technically she's not two, but she was less than what is it called, 10 months or whatever for the first Christmas.
Don't know how old your daughter
Yeah,
is.
so I did do quick math from last year, how old she was last year for Christmas. So,
but it's this
she
year,
wasn't
Stitch. It's this year.
Well, yeah, I'm comparing the difference between her excitement this year and last year, where she didn't really care what was really going on. She wasn't trying to like really unwrap gifts or anything. This year, she was all about just unwrapping, and then like the first two gifts, like she would open up and then try to like completely open it up, and then I was just like, no, go to the next one, and then she finally got the hang of it. It's all about ripping off the wrapping paper, and so she just became a wrapping paper machine. And she had an absolute blast. Got her little tricycle, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. She just running around, and we moved into the new place. But we're trying. Well, the internet was supposed to get hooked up today, but that shit got delayed.
Of course.
So we're still dealing with, we're still dealing with all that crazy shit. But it's been really, really good. This work's been crazy and fun, and just dealing with crazy COVID shit and just whatever. It's fucking nuts. It's, without saying too much, but it's like COVID just, it's a non-stop Groundhog's Day with this shit. It's just over and over and over again. It's just like, when are people gonna fucking learn? It's like, it's just gonna have to just start killing people off and all the dumb ones off.
It already has. Like, it's never ended. like legit, like 3,000 people died in one day, like a couple days ago. Like,
yep.
Nobody cares. It's like, that's 9/11. That's more than 9/11.
Yep.
And nobody cares. They're just like, no, fuck it.
But then, wait, so the one person gets shot on a fucking movie set that everybody talking about gun control. But here we got fucking school shootings and fucking COVID numbers going up, and nobody's fucking batting an eyelash.
The thing that gets me with this virus is that, we were talking about Madden for a long time, and thinking about football and how intelligent you have to kind of be to learn and read defenses. Fucking COVID read the defense with us. Man. Like, they went into the lab and watched film and started practicing and shit, and they were like, "Oh, I got these motherfuckers figured out. I know exactly how to get these nasty motherfuckers."
This is so. Hold on, just in America. So today is not over. Today is the 29th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Worldometer, this is who I go by because almost 100% their numbers are correct. Yep. Just today, and today's not ended, and it's also like, because they go by, I think, UTC, but there's 465,000 new cases today.
Yep.
Just today. And people are like, well, what? Oh, there's not so many deaths. Okay, fuck you. Yesterday it was over 2,000 people that died. Today, 1,700 people so far have died. And so there's usually like a delay when it comes to like these numbers. So people look at these things, they're just like, oh, well, especially on the weekends. People look on the weekends, they're just like, oh, not so many people died on the weekend, but just wait until Tuesday and then go back and look at the same numbers. Because the same thing happened to me. The way I always look at it is I'll look at on the days and then wait, if it's on a weekend, wait until a Tuesday. And they get updated.
One of the reasons why you don't see large numbers on the weekend is because they're short-staffed, too, throughout all of the hospitals and morgues and shit. Sometimes they wait till Monday to collect those fucking numbers of the dead bodies.
Yep. So, like, for instance, on Christmas Day, Christmas was on the 25th. That was Saturday, right?
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday? Yeah. Like, when I first looked at it, it was, like, right around 100,000 people that got infected. But now it's at 269,000.
Yep.
I mean, not so many deaths. It's like less than 1,000, but there's been multiple days where it's been like above 1,000, above 2,000, 3,000 deaths. But people are just like, they're not taking it seriously.
What's crazy is that like a lot of people are getting like reinfected. Like there's some celebrities that have been getting reinfected. Like I think Doja Cat, she got COVID for the second time, and I think Billie Eilish, she got it for a second time as well. So and I think she might have been vaccinated, but her symptoms were very mild. So getting vaccination does lessen the symptoms, less likelihood of you maybe dying from it. But you can get it multiple times. I'm not sure which variants they got, but yeah, Doja Cat had it like in the very fucking beginning, and then she turned around and got it again like a couple of weeks ago.
Reminder for everybody. We have no idea what the long-term effects of this are.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around.
Well, but then
We don't know. We don't know if you get it in 2020 or 2021, 5 years, 10 years from now, what some of the you live through it. Let's say we don't know what those long-term health effects are really going to be. So don't fuck around, y'all. Don't fucking play Russian roulette with your fucking health. Try to fucking protect yourself.
Don't be like you're acting with a black mom and have her say, "Try me, bitch."
I mean, and honestly, I'm gonna shit on the current administration because my head goes all around. I don't give a fuck what political party that you're with.
Yeah.
The current administration has been doing a really shitty job. They did a okay job at first, but now it's like it's a fucking shit show again. This is basically like back with the the former president, in his days, then just doing bullshit. A couple of weeks ago, Jen Psaki, who is the press secretary, one of the press people, like they asked her, like, hey, why don't you send out, like, excuse me, sorry to burp. Why don't you send out tests to everybody, like in America? And then she mocked them and said, well, how much would that cost? Why are we going to send, the test to everybody? Like, do you even know how much that would cost? Like, first of all, fuck the cost. These are human lives. All right, and other countries have done this, which is what the reporter had said. Other countries have done this, and they've had success with it. This is something that I've said. If you rewind the fucking tape to fucking last year, I was like, just fucking test everybody. And if you're infected, then stay your ass fucking at home. Like, that's like an easy first step to do. If you're infected, stay your ass at home, quarantine. All right. She mocked the person that said that and was like, well, how much is it going to cost? How are we going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. You're the fucking U.S. government, bitch. If you can send me a fucking bill from the IRS every goddamn year, they can send out a goddamn test to me every fucking, once or twice or whatever. And don't say that it's fucking free. Stop saying that it's free. It's not fucking free. Just say that it's tax paid. It's paid for by your taxes. Be truthful. Stop letting them fucking mislead you with this bullshit. But it's free. It's not free. We paid for it. These are our benefits that we're using with our money. So stop letting these people fool you with that term. It's not free. But anyway, a couple weeks later, now all of a sudden, oh yeah, it's a great idea. We're gonna send out to everybody. Oh, but we're gonna do it after the holidays. Bitch, it's too fucking late. It's too late because everybody already fucking traveled. Everybody did their thing. We already knew that Omicron was coming around, even though people knew, or at the time, is less deadly. It's still less deadly, but it doesn't fucking matter. If it's half as deadly as a Delta variant, but it's 5 times more infectious, then guess what? We're more fucked. So please stop saying that shit.
You also named the. Sorry, just full thing. You said the name wrong. It's the Omicron Persei 8.
I think it's not actually not called Omicron. It's like, I think it's Omicron or something like that. But anyway, go ahead.
Whatever. I just want to say I'm with you. There's heat for everybody. My biggest thing right now is the fucking CDC.
Yeah.
And I've been extremely positive, not raw about cheerleading, but positive about the CDC in general. Not that they're perfect or whatever, but holy fuck, did they fuck this shit up?
Yep.
Literally this week they said if you've gotten Rona and you get infected, you get a positive test, instead of isolating yourselves for 10 days, they took it down to 5 days. Now, most of our neighbors like Canada, Mexico, and even the UK and whatnot aren't doing that. But the biggest thing, the biggest FU to people was the fact that it was the Delta Airlines CEO that requested this and talked to the CDC.
Well, and also, hold on, you're missing a very important factor on this. It was healthcare workers and certain other essential workers where they made that a thing. And I'm just like, but everybody else, no? And it's also, it's like, all they're doing is just trying to keep this economy rolling.
That's it.
They're putting lives. Go ahead.
That's what angers me the most. It's this whole aspect of, well, fuck it, die for the economy then. Like it's disturbing. It's disgusting. You talk about taxpayer funded or whatever. CDC is supposed to be giving scientific, medically sound advice for the benefit of Americans. And y'all being wishy-washy, y'all giving fake information. And I'm going to go one step further, too. Never forget, and you can look this up for yourself, back in May of this year, which feels like it was a million goddamn years ago, they sure did try to entice people, get the shot, which is good. I'm for the shot. I've been triple shot up. But they said, if you get the shot, you don't have to fucking mask anymore. That was dumb fucking advice. That wasn't sound medical advice. Dumb. They sure did pump that bullshit out there as well. And that was nothing but trash. And that fucking helped spread Delta over the summer. And shit. Like, they fucked up royally. And we are doing the worst in the fucking world. Biggest, richest country in the world. Biggest defense budget in the world. Only real remaining superpower in the world. But we fucked this up. We're going to pass 1 million dead Americans before St. Patrick's Day. Well before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I mean, what's amazing to me is like they keep giving out like, so when they said, oh, well, it's only 5 days. Well, what study is this based on?
Yep.
Are you telling me that Omicron is it's not infectious as long? Like, if you give me a study, I mean, sure, like, back it up, but don't just say, oh, yeah, it's just 5 days for only essential workers or healthcare workers, which are also essential workers, whatever. But, like, they literally gave no studies saying that reducing the time frame would spread less infections. They didn't do any of that shit.
Because there are no real studies, peer-reviewed studies and all that. This is bullshit based on CEOs.
Especially on
Omicron. Well, the other problem is that, like, okay, yeah, we're mainly talking about Omicron per se, but, like, is Delta still out there? Is Delta still a fucking threat? Like, fucking the original Rona is, I think Lambda was out there as well, too. Like, we have so many variants that are out there right now. Like, we can't be playing fucking a guessing game with how many days, like, somebody should be quarantined if they're infected, because they're not saying what kind of which variant they're infected with, basically.
And apparently, like, I think I heard something today where, like, with the test that they're sending out to everybody, they don't detect the Omicron variant. So let me just make sure that I'm correct on this. I'm gonna do some quick maths, but 2
+ 2 is 4. Quick math.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like you were saying, the whole mask thing. Like, if you're vaccinated, like, you don't need to wear a mask. Like, when they said that, I was like, come on, like, let's just keep that shit a fucking secret and not tell people, because it's not that people who are vaccinated are gonna be like, okay, I'm taking off my mask. It's more like those dumb motherfuckers who aren't masked or aren't vaccinated is gonna be like, well, I don't need to wear a mask if everybody's vaccinated. I'm with, like, it should be okay. Like that, they should look at the study of people and be like, okay, we have these amount of people who aren't following the rules. Just make sure that everybody has the same fucking rule, basically.
Yeah. So this is from the FDA and the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky. While the antigen test may not perform as they don't. That's basically what they're saying, is that the rapid antigen test may be less effective at detecting Omicron, and these are the at-home tests. They're all antigen tests, the self-test. So they may be, which means that they probably are less effective at detecting it. Meanwhile, we still have a huge surge in cases.
And I know about this more from a healthcare perspective. Doctors are burnt the fuck out. Nurses are burnt the fuck out. Some of them are literally just on crisis mode, calling in sick, even if they're not sick, just because they need mental health breaks. And so the hospitals in several places in this country are full, completely past capacity, and shit just looks worse than ever. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but it looks worse than ever.
You know what's crazy is that, like, if you need to get a vaccine or you need to get a COVID test, like you have to pay out of your fucking pocket for that shit, like originally, and like now I guess the current administration is trying to pass a law where your health insurance can cover it, which is like that should have been it from the fucking get
It
go.
depends on where you go.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Or it depends on what kind of test you get too, because if you want a rapid test, I think that's like a fucking $100 from shit.
And I mean, you talked about a 360 level of shitting on folks. Look, there have been folks in the military, folks in police, folks in fire, folks who were supposed to protect us that said, no, fuck you. Even though this is mandatory, I'm not ever getting the vaccine.
So in the military, it's very few. It's like less than 100 people.
Less than 100 people?
Less than 100.
For the whole military?
Yeah,
sure?
As far as I've seen so far, yes, less than 100 people have been kicked out. I think the last number that I saw was from the Air Force. 27 people that refused to get the test got kicked out because they don't fuck around. They just kick you out.
Yeah, no, I hear you that they will. In terms of the rules, I didn't think it was that low the last time it was reported, which was like earlier this week.
Yeah,
but
it's low. People are making a big deal about it, but listen, it's a lawful order in the military.
Sure.
And I've gone through a whole bunch of like vaccines. I went through the fucking I've gotten a vaccine where literally I could have sold one of my testicles for $30,000 fucking dollars. I'm not even bullshitting. I could have sold one of my nuts for $30,000 because I got the anthrax vaccine. And I didn't know what the fuck was in that. The anthrax is way less communicable than COVID. And so when all his military members were like, oh, I think the right wing media was like hyping this up. Like people in the military don't want to get this. They're not going to get it. Watch, it's going to be a whole thing. No, all right, they're going to get it. Are they going to get kicked out? But the vast majority of them are going to stay in because people are not going to want to throw away their military careers over some fucking stupid bullshit, knowing that when they went into boot camp, they got literally like 35 fucking shots on a single goddamn day of like shit they had no idea about. They just fucking shot you up with all kinds of shit.
Okay.
And you're fine. So, yeah. It's not a lot of people.
I see a lot of like, I see like a lot of law enforcement and like firefighters not getting the vaccine. Like I keep seeing that shit in the news, especially in like New York.
No, it's not a lot of people. More people died from COVID that are police officers than got shot in the field from COVID last year. That's a fact.
Stats. Yeah.
So.
Hold on one sec. So, the 27 you quoted, that was Air Force only.
Yes.
Marines 103. This is from an NPR article from this week.
That's 103. Okay.
2,700 the Army has reprimanded.
That's reprimanded, but did they get it?
Well, it says that I'm quoting right here. Mm-hmm. The Army has reprimanded 2,700 soldiers and said it will begin discharge proceedings in the new year. But those are folks who have refused.
Hold on, real quick. Because the Army, especially the National Guard, so when you say the Army, the National Guard has until next year, I think it's in like February or maybe even April, to adhere to it. So they can reprimand them, but they're not going to get kicked out until next year. So you'll see next year, if it's still that same number, I'll be fucking super surprised. I'll be super surprised, because, yeah. Even then, there's, how many people are in the military right now? It's literally less than 1%.
A couple million?
At least 12,000 service members have asked for religious exemptions.
And they didn't get them.
None of which have been granted. Yeah, but these are still people trying to play bullshit ass games.
Yeah, but they're not.
I'm not. For folks trying to skirt an order.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Is that most media outlets are making it seem like it's like a whole bunch of people, but it's not. It's not a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I looked up to see how many active duties we have in the military right now. We have like 1.4 million people. Yeah. So that's like a drop in the fucking bucket, if that's even good. That.
That's good.
There are a bunch of. I'm gonna say a military term here. They're a bunch of shitbirds. A bunch of shitbirds that decided that for whatever reason they've been convinced that this one vaccine is worth ruining their military career over. So if that one vaccine, rather than the other 35 that you already fucking got, it's probably more than that because you got a lot, especially depending on where you deploy to, because you have to get more when you deploy to places, because I've done it before. You just want to pretend that this one is not your bag. So yeah, throw away your whole career. If you're that easily convinced, guess what? You are a security risk for the military. You
Yep.
really are. Russia can fucking convince you to do whatever the fuck they want at this point in time. As far as
There
I'm
you go.
concerned.
That makes fucking sense to me.
Yeah. Rona's raging. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alright.
I got my booster. I think last week with my oldest daughter, or my youngest daughter. My oldest, we're not gonna talk about that right now. But my youngest, she got her first, and she gets her second in a couple weeks. So she'll be fully vaccinated, and she just turned 5. So, and she's doing fine. She has no extra limbs. She's not sick.
Mm-hmm.
She's not dead. She's fine.
Yep.
Did she get any superpowers? Did she like fucking climb up the walls or anything, or shit just levitating around her?
No, there's other issues that
Okay.
happened before the shot that we're dealing with, but yeah,
Oh.
as far as the shot goes,
I was just
she's fine.
Both mine fully shot up as much as they can be because they're over the age of 5. I'm thankful for the children's vaccine, just like I'm thankful for the adult one. You know, triple shot up for me. It is what it is. Still masked up. Still trying to do what the fuck I can. But you know, I've never been as angry and as disappointed. You know, it just the average American government, it just everything like this is one of those things where 50 to 100 years from now people will be talking about the Rona years and looking at from a psychological and economic standpoint why the fuck everything went to shit.
was crazy, kind of crazy. My the company I worked for, like I was like, they had planned for everybody to return to office in July of this year, and that shit kept getting pushed back and pushed back. Like I was actually supposed to be coming back like 2 weeks ago, but that shit got pushed back again. And like right now, they're not expecting anybody to return to work until June of next year.
So this is what is crazy to me. So like the other day when my youngest was, had her medical issue, they actually had a CDC, 2021 vaccine schedule on the wall. What was hilarious to me is that the coronavirus was not on there, which I was like, that's weird. But anyway, so I was looking, and so now I'm bringing it up on like my screen, and I remember there was a whole bunch of things that had like booster shots. But I think that people just don't understand. Like, you had a bunch of booster shots when you were a kid. Like, a bunch. You just don't remember because you were fucking young. You don't remember. So, hepatitis B, guess what? You got 3 doses. Rotavirus, you got at least 2 doses. Diphtheria, you got at least 4 doses. The Hib, you got at least 3 or 4 doses. Pneumococcal, you got at least 4 doses. Polio, you got 3 doses. Influenza, goes on for a fucking long time. You know all about that shit. Hepatitis A, you got at least 2. There's a whole bunch. B, hepatitis B, you got at least 3. Holy shit, diphtheria, you get fucking 5. I'm looking up now because I'm going into older ages. Polio goes up into 4 when you get older. There's all these things. So it's a little Tdap. Like, I don't understand why people are so angry about getting a booster shot in 2021. Like, what the fuck? This is not fucking new.
It became a political issue, a real dumb one. And, here we are. There's still people spreading bullshit-ass misinformation. It's not just Trump or Biden or whatever. There's plenty of celebrities. It's a whole thing, It literally is a whole thing of just anti-science, denial bullshit, and truth be told, especially as I mentioned with the CDC, the scientists themselves can be influenced and spread bullshit as well. So it's all fucked up, man. It makes me so goddamn angry.
It does. Let's go to something fucking happy. God damn it, because this shit, it makes me angry almost not a daily basis, but it's getting up there, especially as like it spreads and I can do less. Well, actually, no, I can't even say less and less shit because I haven't been doing shit. I've had like a sprinkling of like social interactions in the past 2 fucking years, basically at this point, and and I'm still matching up.
That one time we did Remember we did that one pod? Well, I think it was like it's been a couple of months since we did that podcast where we were all back together.
Yeah.
Before Prodigy moved.
Yep, I remember that. All right. I know I'm not gonna do any spoilers or whatever, but I finally saw that fucking Book of Boba Fett that dropped.
Oh shit! I thought it dropped this Friday.
No, it's out. I saw it literally tonight just before the cast. No spoilers, but god damn, do I love this. This is, again, I love Mando season 1 and season 2. This picks right back up off of that. You know, Ming Yang Wen. Right? No, Ming Na.
Ming Na Wing.
Ming Na Wen.
Ming Na Wen.
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
Shit the hell.
She's awesome in it. Obviously, they got I always fuck up his name even worse, but they got main guy playing Boba. He's just bringing it, man. And you know, there's plenty of Easter eggs for all old school Star Wars fans. It's all right there.
Nice.
There's only one episode out, but I'm already on board, fully on board. I think it seems like it's the same quality as Mando 1 and 2. So right there, definitely watch it.
Does it pick up like right where because Mando ends with Boba Fett and Midnight Wing's character going to go see a homeboy that took over for Jabba's spot. He fucking blasts him.
it picks up pretty much right then and there, and you know they bounce around a little bit with some flashbacks, but all of it creates context for the series, and I'm just fucking excited about that shit. That shit is going to be must-watch TV for me every fucking week.
That's fucking dope. I can't wait. I really thought it was dropping this Friday, but yeah, I think Disney dropped their shows on Wednesdays, or yeah, I think Wednesday they dropped their shows, their episodes.
Oh, okay, so it was just literally today then, huh?
Yeah. They drop it at midnight on Tuesday/Wednesday. Because when you say midnight, people get confused because midnight is technically the day that you're talking about, not the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say midnight Tuesday, that would be like a minute after Monday.
Yep.
At 11:59. I'm just saying. So.
That shit fucks people up.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then the other one, I know we danced around this. I finally fucking finished Arcane. Goddamn it!
Finally, man. Holy
so
shit!
Good. Yeah.
God damn.
Jesus Christ. Jinx.
It's batshit fucking crazy.
Oh my god, she's like she's basically like League of Legends Harley Quinn. You know,
yeah.
Only even more fun and maybe even crazier. Like I was watching it with my 7-year-old daughter, and she just was like, her hair, Dad. Her braids are that long. Like, she's so cool. Why is she so wild? She had never seen no character like that. What's up?
I mean, I loved it. I love the way that the black characters had like the gold flake, like almost like tattoos on their skin. It looks so fucking cool. I was like, I never saw like gold look like that on brown skin, and it looked like so awesome. Yeah, I mean the whole series is good. Like when you watch the first episode, like the first episode is good, but you don't think it's gonna be like exceptional series. But then as you keep watching, you're like, oh, damn, all right. Like watching, you know, like Jinx come from like a kid to like a crazy ass adult, and then also I forget the other main character's name.
Vi.
Yeah, Vi.
Yeah.
The boss of she, yeah.
She becomes a badass, and like all these other ancillary characters are like really cool characters, really well thought out. The animation is incredible. The fucking theme song fucking bangs hard as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying. Imagine Dragons.
What's the name of the group? Yes, it is.
Imagine Dragons. I think it's called Enemies. Is the name of the song, or Enemy? The name of the song. They did like a live show for the Video Game Awards. It's dope. But yeah, I mean the series was fucking excellent. Blue, you go ahead, and then I'll kind of make it depressing again. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this show is fucking badass. Like how Corona said about the black people in the show, but like Homegirl's mom, like, cause there's a console as a scientist, and they pretty much run this upper city while they have like the slums down below. But like, you know, like they're making it's at first it made me think of imagination or whatever, like Disney's Tomorrowland, basically, where you have these people thinking about the future, thinking about like inventions and tech and this and that. I'm like, oh man, like this city looks fucking dope and shit. But then you have like this black girl who comes from like a different city, and her mom come and visit, and her mom's like this fucking 6'8", swole, badass, fucking like Viking looking chick, and she's there to relax and fuck young guys, and like that shit was so fucking funny. But this fucking series was just fucking, like, the fact that it's based on a mobile game, which is kind of crazy.
It's not a mobile
But
game.
like,
No, not a mobile game.
Oh, the PC game? I
There
thought it was
is-
a mobile game.
There is a mobile game,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but yeah.
'Cause when I looked it up, I was like, that's the only thing that came up with the mobile game. I was like, okay, this is a fucking
It's
based
a
on mobile
huge
game.
PC game.
People are about to get fucking angry
Okay.
and throwing laptops and shit right now. But yeah, it is. There is a version that is mobile.
All right. Yeah, because that's the thing that kept coming up was the mobile version when I looked it up.
Hold
But
on, real quick. It'd be like us saying that Call of Duty is a mobile game.
Yeah.
There is a mobile version of Call of Duty,
True.
but yeah, it's not that. So anyway.
But yeah, I mean, overall, this shit was fucking badass, and like, just the last 2 episodes was fucking ridiculous because, you know, Jinx, basically she was taking on a new fucking mental of a name. Like she wasn't going by like her natural name. She had another fucking name she was going by, and she literally, there was 2 fucking chairs, and like her sister had to choose which one she wanted her to be, but some shit went fucking down. She's like, no, that's not me, bro, and it just ends in fucking chaos, which is great.
I have to mention, old girl's Grace Jones' mama was into them barely legal boys.
Yeah.
That was questionable. I know we don't know their exact age, but they were either just turned 18,
Or 18 in a day. Yeah.
or teenagers.
Yeah, that shit was some fucking Coming to America shit. Some fucking what country was Eddie Murphy's character from?
Zamunda.
Zamunda, yeah.
Yeah, the royal vagina is clean, Your Highness.
All right, so
Yeah.
elephant in the fucking room. If you're listening to this podcast and we're like talking about Arcane as being dope as fuck, which it is, and you know League of Legends,
Yep.
interested in now, there's an elephant in the room, and the elephant is that, and also highlight, we didn't talk about a single fucking male character except for like maybe some young men, questionably young men, but we talked about
Boy over theirs.
we've talked about mainly women in this show because the show is, I guess it is women centric. I mean, it is. The main character is women. There is another character that is male. Doesn't matter. The most interesting characters in this fucking show are women. Now here's the Debbie Downer. Riot Games just agreed to pay $100 million in a gender discrimination lawsuit. So
Yep.
Riot Games is who made League of Legends, and they made this game full of incredible women, which I hope, and I don't pray, but I hope that it was written by a bunch of, you know, really cool women, and there was proved gender discrimination at the work site. That's fucking incredibly depressing, especially knowing how incredibly difficult it is for a woman or anybody to prove discrimination in the workplace. It's very fucking difficult to do that. And they proved it in court, and there's a $100 million settlement case in that lawsuit. So there's the we built you a cake, and I just shit on it.
You just dropped it right in front of you.
Yep. I believe found guilty. Right.
Yes.
Found guilty. Yeah. Confirmed.
Well, either whether they were
So-
found guilty or not, there definitely was a settlement. So
Yeah. Okay. But
yeah.
I think I thought I'll have to go back and double check. But I thought I saw that they truly were found guilty. But in any event, that's a whole lot of money. You don't pay that kind of money unless you did that shit. So yeah, that shit is foul. And the other thing is, you know, we're talking about Riot as if it's like some isolated type of thing. No. You know, obviously Activision Blizzard earlier this year got in a heap of fucking trouble. I think it was this summer or early fall or whatever, just in terms of the same type of really disturbing discrimination. And that was out of the They're Activision Blizzard. I think their headquarters are right here in Irvine, like Orange County or something like that. You know, so
I wanted to work for them for like the longest time, but they didn't pay that well when I was looking for a storage job. So.
Yep. But there's some foul shit going on. You know, plenty of foul shit going on. But yeah, I hope this show continues, and I don't know if the Riot Games division folks were also heavily involved in the production of the show. I don't know if it was the same people, but they knocked it out of the park with Arcane, and I know these characters come from the game.
Yeah,
I do know that.
It's weird that we haven't played the game, but we're so into that show. It makes me want to play the game, but I'm also not into like that style of game. Like,
Isn't it real-time strategy?
No, it's like not arena style. I forget the name of the fucking game style. I gotta look it up real quick. Maybe it is arena style.
Team-based game.
I gotta look. I know it's it's definitely multiplayer. It's a battle arena. That's what it is. I don't play like many battle arena games.
Okay.
So, and it came out in like Jesus Christ, 2009. Oh, that was a long
God damn!
It's been a minute.
Holy shit! I just saw it too. It made me think of was it GTA 4, 5? That's been out for a long fucking time.
Yeah, and it's still selling. People talk shit about, why don't they make a new GTA? They're still making money off the fucking old GTA that was made fucking 35,000 years ago. Like, why would you make a new one?
But real quick on League of Legends, for anybody who is interested, and maybe you don't know if you want to play the PC game or whatever, Netflix did another really great documentary all about like the League of Legends culture. Just look up League of Legends on Netflix, you'll find it or whatever. It was really good, insightful as fuck. So, but
I can't wait for shit to get back to normal so that we can go back to these cons and see these fucking cos. Because I love taking photos of cosplayers. Like that shit. It's hard in the beginning, like getting started and like asking people, but like once I get going, like I just love taking pictures of cosplayers. But I love to see somebody like cosplaying as Jinx and as what's the homegirl's name? I gotta look her name up, but like the homegirl, the black girl with the gold flakes on her, like that's some shit I want to see. And I don't want to hear like people saying like, oh, this person is in black and blah blah blah. Like this character was definitely black. Like shut the fuck up.
I mean, honestly, like cons, like I really miss like, going to cons, seeing how like all the fans and stuff like that. But it's also like every now and again, someone that recognizes us, and that's like it's one of the best feelings ever.
It is.
When they're just like, oh, you're from Black and Black Infinity. I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then it's awkward for me. I'm just like, huh, like you recognize me from that, but I'm like, I don't think that we're big, but there's some folks that definitely do recognize us. And if you see us, hold on, I'll give you just a quick example. There was a time where I was at our local Costco, and there was an old black dude that was like obviously following me, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, why is this dude like looking at me and like following me? So I get in line, like I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, that dude's like following me, like what the fuck? So I'm in line, and then as I'm in line, he comes up behind me, he's like, hey, do you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, my daughter watched your podcast. And his daughter was like way behind him. I was just like, yeah, I have a podcast. And it's like, oh, my daughter watches. I was like, really? I was like, what the fuck? Like,
that's cool.
That's really cool. It's like, hey, how's it going? Like, if you see us in person, like, we're pretty personable because we're not huge. But like, that was like one of the best feelings. It's like, wow, somebody like watched my stuff or watched our stuff and liked it and was embarrassed enough to like ask their father to talk up to like this dude that might not even been me to like be like, hey, are you this guy? But yeah, that was really cool.
The thing I will miss, I do miss the fucking most is hosting fucking panels.
Yeah,
like just the fucking energy in the room when all eyes are on you. The folks are captivated, you know what I mean, and we're interacting with them. We're throwing out prizes. We're maybe we're doing that call and response thing with some nerd shit, and then afterwards a line of fucking people waiting to talk, and like we can't leave the room. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people ready to talk about shit. That is incredible. It's fucking it's addictive, and it's one of those things where I'll never forget, like when we did San Francisco Comic Con or Fanime or whatever, and I just want that to continue. But here we are, 2 years later.
Yeah.
So the name of the character and Arcade that we're talking about, her name is it? I think it's on here. It says Mel, but then also says Medarda.
Yeah, she
Medarda.
had a short nickname, a shortened version.
Yeah. Oh no, her name is Mel Medarda. Like that's her full name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her character that we're talking about. But there was also another black chick on there that was part of the council. She looked like one of the Modoris from
She had,
Dora Milaje.
she had like the
Dora
fucking
Milaje's.
clockwork.
Yeah, she had like
necklace
a
on. That shit was dope.
she had like a fucking clock on her neck that is fucking like ticking and something like that. I was like, oh shit, she must be related to Flavor Flav.
The other thing that was kind of cool about Arcane, and I have to keep gushing about it, but even how they handled the slight flirtatious lesbian relationship with Vi and Cupcake or Kate or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you could tell that they were both into each other, like even on a more than friend level, but they just handled it well. They weaved it in and out of the story quite well, and there was just this thing like, will they, won't they? You know what I mean? But even though the story wasn't necessarily about that, it was more about the sisters and whether they would be able to reconcile or not. But they handled all of the interpersonal dynamics at a master level.
Yeah, I mean, this
Well,
is.
I
Go ahead.
I had a quick thing for Prodigy. So you said you watched this with your 8-year-old daughter. Like, how did you explain the sex scene?
So
There's
yeah,
nudity.
it wasn't graphic and it wasn't long. And I watched the episodes ahead of time like a good parent, and I talked her through like, hey, there's going to be some slightly mature content in here, but it was at a point that it wasn't. It's not like a porn or anything close to that, and so we watched it, and she was still into the show. She wasn't all super duper grossed out or whatever, and she handled it, and I handled it like
Okay.
mature family members.
What do you think, Carlos?
I mean, I personally like when they make these non-traditional relationships, and they don't make like a big deal about it. Like, it's there, and it's just part of the story, and they don't highlight it. They just make it seem like it's like part of the thing. Like, it's just like normal, because it's fucking normal for like, unless you live, I guess, in most of America. Jesus Christ. But in more, should I say, civilized parts of the country? I don't want to say civilized, but places that are more accepting, where you are more exposed to these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Like, it's not shocking to see a woman kissing a woman or a dude kissing a dude, in public. Like, that doesn't bother me. And if my daughter sees something like that happen in front of her, and she's like, if she hasn't asked so far, obviously, because this is during COVID, so we ain't seeing shit. But if she sees like gender on gender, affection, and she asks me like, what are they doing? I would explain like they love each other, or they're boyfriend girlfriend, or they're in a relationship, or whatever. Like, that's a normal thing, and I think that's how you sort of fix things. And then also have your kids recognize, or at least let them know that, before this time period, or even still today, these people are still persecuted for like the way that they, live their lives. But that has nothing to do with you. Like, the way they live their lives that is hurting nobody else, it's fine. Like, it's perfectly normal. And I think that's a problem with our society right now, is that people want to get in people's businesses. Listen, if you're not hurting somebody else, and it's a consensual relationship, like, why do you even care like what they're doing? You shouldn't care at all. So let them do what they want to do. If them doing it in public bothers you, hey, guess what? What if you were kissing your significant opposite gendered person, and that made them uncomfortable, and they walked up to you? How would that make you feel? So,
Or even if you're kicking your spouse of a different race, having somebody come up to you.
yeah, dude, like when me and Kamek went to Louisiana, that was like eye opening for her. Like when she saw like the needle drop or I'm sorry, like the record stop. And when we walked in to like some fucking I don't know, fuck what Prodigy, you were there. What was it like it was like some diner or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, almost anywhere we went to eat, like breakfast spot, diner, fancy restaurants, we went all over the place.
Yeah, but there was like one spot in particular where like Kim, I definitely noticed where just like everybody like just stopped and looked at us. They're just like,
Damn, yeah.
I just ignored it. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. But also, she doesn't.
Yeah.
She at the time, she didn't see it when like black people would do like the same thing with us. Because this shit happens too. Like to be honest, you know.
Yeah.
That makes me think of the time when the Swedish and I went to Louisiana, and like we were going to see a plantation tour, and I think it was probably like maybe a good like 20 people on this bus. It was like one of those short bus.
You went on a plantation tour?
Yeah, we did. It wasn't my choice.
Okay.
But okay. So there's a lot of fucking stories to this thing, but yeah. So like the guy.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
The guy giving a tour. The guy giving a tour had said. He said something. He's like, "Oh, you guys all excited." I know exactly what he said. He's like, "Oh, you guys are excited this morning to go to a plantation." Me and the other black person like looked at each other and we're like, "No." But everybody else on there was like, "Yeah." And so we went to two plantations. One of the ones that was in Django Unchained, and another one. And like, dude, after I walked around that place, I was like, I just want to burn this motherfucker down. Like this feeling in my back was just fucking like tingling. Like, just set this motherfucking bitch ablaze. And it was hard to. I mean, it was cool to see like how it was there, but like part of me just wanted to burn that motherfucker down, like to the goddamn ground. Like the fact that they still have weddings there and this and that, and I think some celebrity just got married at a one of these plantations, and like it was so just like distasteful. But
I mean, just
yeah, that shit was fucking hard.
Just take her to like a California farm, and like see how hard they're working for like minimal pay. It's not slavery, but it's not far adjacent. Because I remember like when we went to Jesus Christ, recently I think it was like last year we went to a strawberry. Went to go pick our own strawberries, and like off the coast of California. And as we were walking up, like we saw it wasn't Watsonville. It was probably not. It wasn't far from there. We'll just say Watsonville. Fuck it. Where went to go pick our strawberries, and like as we were walking up to like where we pick our strawberries, there was a bunch of workers that were like working hard as fuck to like pick their strawberries, and it's just like I think how would I feel if I was Mexican or of Latino descent, like walking past that to pick my own strawberries, and then coming back. Obviously, it's not slavery, but also I know that they're not getting paid any sort of a fair wage doing that thing. And I'm literally paying to go pick strawberries. Like, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I paying more for the strawberries that I'm picking than they are for their labor?
Yep.
And that fucked me up for a minute.
I'm gonna say this. It is some extra white folks shit to want to get married on a plantation. It's as crazy to me as someone considering getting married at Auschwitz. It's just foul. This is a place where people were brutalized, people were raped, people were whipped, people were killed. Families were separated. All these human atrocities were going on, and you want to have your quote-unquote happiest day of your life in that location. This is why you need to be everybody needs to be fully aware of just true, actual history. You know what I mean? And, you just ignoring it and putting your head in the sand or feeling like, what was that movie? Gone with the Wind is reality. They're historically accurate. It's damaging. It's ignorant ass bullshit. plantations. I believe that there should be, for historical purposes, some plantations to be able to see the atrocities, but trying to, or hear about it and talk about some things, but trying to have some weddings or a happy-go-lucky tour, fuck everything about that.
Well, this tour definitely wasn't happy-go-lucky. Like, they talked about exactly what the fuck was happening on this plantation, and that's the reason why I wanted to burn them all the way down.
Good. Yeah, but there are happy-go-lucky ones. There really are, and there are
like
weddings.
The one thing, like, there's one part where I almost kind of broke down and started crying because, like, in the dining room, there's like a chair and there's a string, and basically the string controls the fans that sits above the tables, and a little slave boy he has to be the first one in there and the last one to leave, and he's always just sitting there pulling that goddamn rope to fan all these fucking white folks, and it's not to keep them cool. It's to basically keep the fucking flies off of them, off the food and shit like that. It's like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's some bullshit. And this kid, just fucking hours, just pulling that fucking rope. It's fucking sad.
Yep. What state was this in, Blue?
Oh god, I have to look it up. It's a real popular one. It's the one that has like a row of fucking trees in the front.
But I mean, was this Louisiana? Was this Alabama? Mississippi?
Louisiana. We were we were down in like Ballin. This is where I also had that gay story that happened. Where I went to that bar.
Oh, okay. Dude, you gotta clarify because our audience is gonna start thinking.
Yeah. No. So yeah, just the sweetness and we got into a little bit of an argument, me and her friends, and I got kicked out of a fucking vampire tour. Like, I almost got tased. The lady was gonna tase me. And I'm like, fuck it, I just left. And then, like, I saw a group of guys. I'm like, okay, I've been hanging out with girls all this time. I saw a group of guys. Like, hey, guys, like, what you guys doing? He's like, oh, we're just about to hit this bar. I'm like, mind if I kick with you guys? Like, oh, yeah, sure. Walk to the bar. Fuck it. I was like, hold on, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Go to the bathroom, do my little thing. I come out, and I'm sitting at the bar with the guys. And, like, it's like a sports bar, right? Like, you know how sports bars have mirrors. Like, they have TVs everywhere. But they weren't playing sports. They were playing gay porn. Just... I looked up, it saw fucking one dude sucking off another dude. I saw another dude getting sucking that fucking ass. I was like, oh yeah, I'm in a fucking gay bar. Like, all right. But it was cool. I didn't feel like endangered or anything. Like, they were fucking super cool. They let me vent my little frustration and stuff like that, and I was able to get a couple of drinks and head back to the hotel. But overall, it was fun.
That's wild. Yeah,
it was Louisiana.
There you go. Shit, what was the other thing I wanted to touch on in terms of big event? Oh, I still need to watch some goddamn Witcher season 2. Have you watched any of it?
No, I haven't watched any yet of it either. But I did finish watching Hawkeye.
Okay, all right. You like I heard the finale was a little controversial.
It was okay. Like, overall, I mean, it's better than fucking Errol's cheap lying ass about keeping promises, but Hawkeye definitely kept his promises. He got back to his family, but I mean, it was fun. It was kind of well done. We got like a little secret. Somebody that appeared like toward the end of the season, toward the end of the season. But overall, it was just okay. It isn't the best of the Disney TV shows yet, like the Marvel TV shows. I would say it's probably like maybe at the level of maybe Luke Cage. Okay. Like, Luke Cage was really good, but like I felt like Daredevil, fucking Punisher, Jessica Jones was a little bit better, and then we had like WandaVision was good, as well as Bucky and the Winter Soldier. That was okay too, but I don't know, it was just all right. It tied some stuff together and it had fun with it, but overall it was just okay. Let's talk about the. Crow doesn't have headphones yet.
Just putting them on.
Yeah, we just talked about Hawkeye. Did you have a chance to watch it yet?
Yeah, I finished it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It reminded me of it was almost like Die Hard.
It kind of did have that feel.
Yeah, it had Die Hard feel. I mean, it was definitely a holiday themed show. And yeah, I mean, I dug it. I liked the way they introduced, Kate Bishop. I liked the silliness of it because it was parts of it were kind of silly. I liked that they were showing like how he made his arrows and shit like that. Like, I like the show, and I think it's going to continue the MCU story going forward. So yeah.
Like they did a really good job of tying everything together too, because we got like what happened in New York. We had the fucking one thing they did talk about was with the snap. Like, so we got to see that sorry, this is gonna be a fucking spoiler. Black Widow, her sister. If you haven't watched the Black Widow movie, like you should watch it because like it's a pretty good movie. But her sister's in it. I can't remember her name. Like it's like Yanoff or something like that. Anyway, she snapped, and we can see her pointer because in WandaVision, we got to see the black girl. She got snapped and she came back, but we just see her coming back. But with Black Widow's sister, we get to see the moment that she's living her life, then get snapped and get brought back, which is something we haven't seen. And like that's just gotta be fucking jarring because like 5 years pass and like everything around you is just fucking different. Like, because she literally goes into a bathroom to wash her hands, and then like she turns to dust and then comes back, and it's like what the fuck just happened? And it's until like a little bit later you're like, oh, she was fucking part of the snap people, or the snap people. But like it brings up a whole lot of fucking questions. If you're brought back from where you were when you got zapped, like there's a lot of motherfuckers that came back just to fucking die again, because like people on fucking they bring this up all the fucking time, but like people on a fucking airplane, maybe people driving in a fucking car, like even in when the snap happened, there's like people like in a fucking helicopter, and like we saw helicopters crash and shit like that. So could you imagine like you fucking blink for a second and then all of a sudden you're fucking falling out of the goddamn sky? Like that's just gotta be the worst fucking way to die.
I mean, that's sort of bad, but your death would be pretty quick, maybe 30 seconds max, probably. I think the worst would be if you were married to somebody or in a long-term relationship with somebody and you were gone for 5 years and they've found somebody else, and then all of a sudden you have to get on with your life. After that, after it was an instant for you, but you got to get on with your life because they have a whole other family.
Or you've missed 5 years of your kid growing up.
Yeah, that's fucking.
Which happened with that happened with Ant-Man, because he got snapped. Or he was in the what's in realm, and he was stuck there for 5 years and came back, and his daughter was older. But then also like with Hawkeye, like he's somebody who didn't move on, and he was just out there fucking murdering people, and like he didn't have the heart to, I don't know, because we got to see where Black Widow brings him back from being the fucking Ronin, and like he didn't want to fucking believe anymore, and she like literally was crying that she was telling him like there's a chance we can bring everybody back, and he's like, don't give me fucking hope, like don't do that to me. And yeah, it's just being snapped was kind of crazy. But then also there was little Easter eggs too where they show like Hawkeye was drinking out of a cup that says Thanos was right, and then later on we see that same thing written on a bathroom. But it's like, I wonder if Hawkeye might have been like a Thanos fanboy, because we saw it on the cup and we saw it on the toilet, and we didn't see him like kind of like he's drinking from the cup. Like he could have just put the cup away and got like another cup to drink from. So I wondered if like maybe he agreed with Thanos, because he was out there like taking motherfuckers out for not like taking advantage of the opportunity they got in their life. That was his whole thing as being the Ronin, was killing fools who weren't Snap, who were still being fucking assholes.
I actually think that's terrible writing, because the Snap caused his family to die. I don't know if he knew that or not, but if he did know that, then it's terrible writing.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very consistent. So yeah.
Anywho, like I said, I like the show. I like that they introduced Kate Bishop. I like that it was kind of silly, and yeah, there were some writing holes in it, but I think that we're in a weird transitionary period with the MCU right now, and I think that people don't really get that right now, but we are. Like, we're in between two major phases. Like there are other phases were like very seamless, but this one will not be seamless because of the coronavirus. It's probably one of the main ones. We had to push back a whole bunch of like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. But it's also, you know, the fact they don't have like the rest of the stories like really built yet. Like where, look, when it comes to like the Black Panther, who should be like a prominent, you know, movie going forward, they had to push that back because Chadwick Boseman passed away, which is awful. They had to figure out what they're going to do with Black Panther 2. Also had to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of the Avengers. They had to find a new leader for the Avengers, which I heard today is going to be Doctor Strange, which is going to be very odd for comic book readers because Stephen Strange is not a fucking leader. He's not a leader.
Fucking selfish.
Same thing as like Iron Man. Iron Man is not a leader. He's not.
I always think of him as leading the Avengers, though, because like he
Captain
I
America
really
leads the
do.
Avengers.
I mean, yeah, but Tony, and maybe it's just the MCU movie influence, but like Iron Man, it was.
No, please stop, Prodigy. How dare you?
What do you mean, son?
Iron Man was in the comics. He was drunk. He's a terrible. He would be a terrible in the comics. He'd be even a worse leader.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, and we've talked about this before. Like Robert Downey Jr. for every single one of those Avengers movies.
You said the comics,
was,
though.
Huh?
You said the comics.
Yeah, then I said maybe it's the MCU influence because in the MCU movies, Iron Man was certainly the leader.
The fuck? Oh, thank you, Mile High Blurred. Sorry, there was a sound. Mile High Blurred super chatted us. Go ahead. MCU universe with Tony Stark.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Iron Man obviously kicked off the MCU, was top billing on all those Avengers movies. He was in more movies than anybody else. Yeah, I mean, I do think, yes, Demon in the Bottle, I get that with the comics, but I think when I think Avengers, the very first character I think of is Tony.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I mean, obviously he's dead, so we need to have another, you know, leader, and I don't think that Stephen Strange should be a
Well, I'm
leader
with
of the
you.
Avengers.
No.
Like,
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. But I'm
I
just
can't-
saying,
and even with
You know, it was like-
even Tony Stark, he was not the leader of the Avengers. It was hands down, it was Captain America because he actually had leadership skills.
I feel like nobody kind of ran the Avengers. Because we had one movie of the Avengers, and then we had like Captain America: Civil War, so everybody was fucking fighting against each other. So no, but
that's
it
not
was,
the case.
I feel like there never really was the truth. I mean, fucking Nick Fury. Is it Fury? Yeah.
He was not the
Nick Fury
Avengers.
should be the leader.
Holy shit, no. He should not be a leader of the Avengers. He was never. God damn it. You fucking people. What is wrong with you people?
Well, he assembled them.
No, he's
It's a
not,
movie
he was not
franchise.
the- he was not a leader. It should have been Captain America. He was the leader of the Avengers.
Nah, I'm saying Tony. Tony for sure.
You think Tony was the leader of the Avengers?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Prodigy, you're wrong. So,
Yeah, 'cause- I mean, Tony was the one that built the time machine. Tony was the one that created Avengers Tower. Tony was the one that had the first movie. Tony was like the common thread. And to talk about MCU movies, Tony was the reason that you had like the Avengers going on.
no, he is not a leader. He even talks about it in the movies.
He's a flawed leader in a lot of ways. I
No,
know he has
he's
his
flawed,
flaws.
but
I'm
not a leader.
Yeah, I'm very convinced. Tony's the.
I feel like you're convinced, like people are convinced that hydrochloroquine would cure COVID. So
Yeah,
I think that your convincing is very flawed.
Cap, and my other big issue with Cap though is, you know, yeah, I guess his ending with Endgame. Okay, just look at Endgame. Tony had the, like, obviously he was the one that did the final snap. You know, he was the one that got that incredibly heartfelt send off and everything. Nobody else got what Tony got. You know, in terms of that ending.
Captain America got Mjolnir. He was worthy. He was a worthy.
Yeah.
He was a worthy hero, a worthy leader. Tony Stark could not possibly lift that fucking hammer.
I mean,
Yeah, he can't live. Fine, he can't live Mjolnir. Yeah, he couldn't live Mjolnir.
He did start the Avengers Assemble, and that whole fucking like crowd fucking posse.
Tony Stark in his hubris created Ultron. He's not the leader of the Avengers. Tony Stark took a time out from the Avengers to go do Iron Man 3 or whatever the fuck he did in that shit, and he was just like he was all down in the dumps. When
hold on, wait.
Steve Rogers was doing fucking hero shit.
Wait. Hold on. Tony wasn't just down in the dumps. I mean, we've talked about this on this show plenty of times. For Iron Man 3, he was experiencing PTSD, and they talked about that.
You don't think that Steve Rogers, the fucking soldier, didn't have any sort of PTSD? You don't think that Steve Rogers went through way more trauma than Iron Man did?
We don't see that. I mean, again, I'm going by what we saw. All of Iron Man 3, he's having anxiety attacks. He's talking specifically about going through the wormhole. He actually, don't forget, Tony was the one that took a nuke and threw it at Thanos' ship.
But with Captain America also, like, this motherfucker damn near risked the whole goddamn timeline for some pussy. I mean, when he back in time, he went back in time and was like, you know what? I'm not coming back. I'm all about this Captain Carter pussy. Like, he
saved the world.
There's a variance of Captain America that's out there right now because he decided to stay back there and stay with Peggy.
Y'all tripping. I'm just saying.
Captain America. Who did Cap come to? Who did Cap come to when he was just like, I need help because I'm not smart enough to go back in time? He came to Tony.
Being smart and being a leader are not necessarily in the same realm.
But Tony was leading though. He's a
flawed leader. What was he leading? What the fuck are you talking about? What was he leading?
I'm still saying there was no leader. Nobody was a fucking leader of the Avengers.
In Endgame, who the fuck said Avengers Assemble?
Tony was the one.
It was not Tony.
Hold on. You asked the question. Tony was the one that led the entire defense of New York again in Infinity War, and then went into space to fight Thanos, and was leading Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man.
He didn't lead Guardians. What the fuck? No, what the fuck are you talking about? He did not lead the Guardians of the Galaxy. What are you talking about?
He did. He was the one that had the idea to get the glove off of Thanos in that way. It almost worked without, except for Peter.
But it didn't work. But it didn't work. And also, if you want to say that, then we could say Stephen Strange was the boss of everything, which he should not be because he's a flawed person. Because they both are flawed people. They're not good leaders.
You think Captain America when you think the Avengers first, before Tony?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I think you're in the minority on that.
100%. I don't think I'm in the minority at all. When it comes to leading and being tactical and shit like that, Tony Stark is a fucking billionaire person that had the silver spoon in his mouth from the day he was born. He has a bunch of wealth and a bunch of resources that Captain America never had, but he has no idea how to lead people. When does he actually lead people? In the movies. When does he lead them?
I gave you an example from Infinity War.
No, that's...
And the other one is with him leading the Avengers against the Loki attack, taking the nuke into space, you know?
He took it into space, but he didn't lead the Avengers into that shit. I remember I'll rewatch it, but as far as I remember, he didn't lead the Avengers into doing shit. Like, he relied on Steve Rogers to give orders.
Wait,
you need to watch that. You need to watch them again. Yeah.
Who was it that told Bruce, like, hey, we need the green guy, and he's like, that's when he was like, he did something like, well, that's the funny thing, I'm always angry or something like that before he turned into the Hulk. Like, who was that he was talking to? Do you remember?
I gotta go back and see. But yeah, I still to this day, the leader of the Avengers, Steve Rogers.
Then why was Spidey always asking for permission to do everything from Tony?
Oh shit!
Because it was fucking terrible writing.
Yeah.
Hold on, that was a nerd answer. That was the nerd. I don't fucking care. But, Also, in the same movie though, he was talking about how he was giving like props to Spider-Man for being good, and shit like that. Like Iron Man was not giving any kind of. He's being an asshole. Like he wasn't being a leader. He wasn't.
So you know what?
No one watches my main problems, which you can go back in the fucking run tape of the podcast. Both me and you, Prodigy, with the Spider-Man movies, is because they had Iron Man way too Iron Man centric because they shit on the actual character of Spider-Man because it made it seem like. Hold on, stop. It made it seem like Iron Man was a bigger character than Spider-Man, which is 100% not the case.
I don't disagree with that. I don't. I've always said that. But the number one lead for the Avengers was Tony. That's that's been the case. That's why Tony had the first movie.
So wait. So look, I got the perfect fucking end of this argument.
You know, well, it's called, Captain America: First Avenger. I'm just saying, name of this movie. Fuck you.
Oh shit.
When did that come out?
Oh! Doesn't matter. That's what it was called. Captain America: First Avenger.
Yeah. After Tony Stark.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
After Tony
First
Stark.
Avenger. It didn't say Iron Man: First Avenger, did it?
No, because it started with him.
Yeah, it's okay.
And actually, no, not only did it start with him, it ended with him. When he stopped. Oh man. All right.
Wait. So the reason I'm saying you guys are both right because I feel like both Captain America and Iron Man both thought they were the fucking leaders. Like they were fucking constantly butting heads, and that what ended up having a fucking civil war. We have Iron Man and his part of the Avenger teams. They all fought against Captain America and the people who followed him. So you guys technically are both fucking right, and that's the reason why we end up with the fucking civil war. But then again, it was called Captain America Civil War. It wasn't called Avengers Civil War.
Yeah, it was a Cap movie.
I'm just saying, Prodigy, if you ever say that we need to register ourselves, I'll fucking kill you.
Register? Oh, you're talking about from Civil War.
I would kill you.
And so wait, I'm looking at the video of the scene where Bruce Banner says, "That's my secret. I'm always angry," and it was Captain America that was like, "Hey, we surely can use the green guy."
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't get Prodigy only because
you need to get angry.
He's part of my family, my actual blood family. Somebody will miss him. I wouldn't. No, I'm just kidding. I miss him after I killed him.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, but I mean, I will say this: it does look to me like they're trying to obviously go for Young Avengers, which is what it is.
Explain Young Avengers.
Young Avengers.
Yeah.
So again, a different younger team, younger generation. There's a whole bunch of characters. It feels like Kate and Elena would be part. Go ahead.
No, that's what I'm trying to pull out of you. Like when you say Young Avengers, you gotta explain to the audience.
Yeah. So it feels like Kate Bishop and Elena would be part of that. I don't know what other characters, because obviously the MCU is not going to be exactly the same as the comic books. I get that, but
can I give a prediction? Hold on, Prodigy, real quick. Prediction.
Good.
For season 2 of what was that fucking Scarlet Witch and Vision?
WandaVision.
WandaVision. If they have Vive, whatever her name is, the child of Vision.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And you already have Miss Marvel. We already know she's coming out. So there you go.
That's what it looks like they're going for.
But then we also got homegirl that can see like the different spectrums. Spectra? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got her. We got her as somebody with superpowers.
She's not young though.
Yeah, she's not young. So that's one thing, but.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the direction. I don't have a fucking crystal ball. I don't know what exactly they're doing, but that's what it looks like they're going for. We'll see.
Oh yeah, they're definitely building up to it though.
Yeah, I will say this. I only watched like one episode of the one pilot episode of Hawkeye. I just wasn't feeling. I didn't watch anymore. But if you guys liked it, you guys liked it. Let's switch it up a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, I know you didn't watch WandaVision, but like,
No, I did.
I would say,
finished it.
oh, you did? You finished WandaVision?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you didn't. I thought you didn't like it. Okay.
I didn't feel it that much, but I powered
Yeah.
through. I watched it all eventually.
But then we also had like Loki too, which was really good.
I need to watch that one.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, where are we going next, guys?
I was gonna say, did you see the trailer? They got a brand new trailer for the Batman. Blue.
You know, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh shit.
I literally was watching. I was on YouTube, and it was like the first thing that popped up, and it had literally dropped like 12 minutes, but I had to jump into a fucking meeting, and I just haven't had a chance to jump back in there. Like I see, like I seen titles saying like, oh, we can see Catwoman and Batman's interaction, and like where she got her claws from. I'm like, fuck, I need to watch. Like I fucking forgot to watch it for this podcast. Like I've even seen people saying like, oh, fucking Sparkly Dude from the Twilight is actually doing a fucking good job as Batman. I'm like, damn, fuck, man. Like, I gotta see this goddamn trailer. And I keep fucking forgetting to watch it. But then I kind of want to pull a Stitch and be like, you know what? I kind of don't want to watch it. Like, I want to be fucking blind to when this shit fucking drops. But I don't got that fucking willpower. Like, no November, I failed on fucking first 3 hours. So I ain't got the patience for that shit. So yeah, you guys check it out.
Yeah, man. I mean, it has me kind of hyped, kind of excited. I will say. At the first teaser from earlier this year or whatever, I was like, okay, maybe, we'll see. We saw a little bit of the Batmobile and the different colors and whatnot, but it looks like a legit movie. It looks like something that I want to fucking see, I don't know if I'll do it in theaters, but we'll see where the Rona numbers are at that time. But I'm on board with both the Batman and Catwoman in this. And I was real critical of Catwoman in the Bane Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of weak, But I loved Michelle Pfeiffer back in the day. And
what about Halle Berry?
Batman.
What about Halle Berry?
I'm not
She was
mentioning
terrible,
that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's terrible, but
she's not terrible.
She looked amazing.
Yeah, she looked great, but the movie was terrible.
Yeah.
I watched
But
it on
shout out to an old girl from the 60s when Marcus, I'm not wearing any panties.
Jesus Christ.
Something Kit.
Eartha Kitt?
Eartha Kitt, yeah.
Yeah, Eartha Kitt. Yeah.
It's so great because like in the Batman, like when you look at those like 88 Batman, it's an 88 Batman, what? 68 Batman, 66 Batman. I can't remember the era.
66.
And she looks tall as fuck in that, like that, as Catwoman. But like you see in like other stuff, like if you like watch Hose, she seems really short.
She is short. She was a short, like petite woman.
Yeah, but Eartha Kitt? Yeah, she's tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in like Batman 66, she looked tall as fuck. I don't know. Maybe I was just short and she just seems taller, but like, yeah, she seemed like she was like really tall, like 6'1" or something.
What the fuck? But I'm on board, man. I think this drops. Hopefully, who knows about the dates, but I think it was saying early 2022, like March or something like that. If you want to, remain spoiler free, don't check it out if you're already convinced. But this one got people excited, and I'm on board. What do you think, Carlos?
Yeah, Eartha Kitt was 5'4".
Yeah, she's kind of short.
I mean,
did you see this trailer?
She's short for a man, but I mean,
yeah, about average height.
She's not
for
a man,
I guess.
So yeah. Anyway, I didn't watch the trailer.
I guess.
I wasn't really that impressed with like the way that he looked at all. I didn't like the fact that he didn't work out for the role, because he even said that, and it looks like that when I see him. He doesn't look very physically imposing at all, even as Bruce Wayne or as Batman. He looks like very slight of frame, and Batman needs to be, pretty muscular. I'm saying this as like a martial artist and a Marine and somebody that sort of knows how to fight. Like, if you're gonna fight people, you need to be like probably of larger frame. Like, because even if you're like the best martial artist on the planet, Bruce Lee would have a hard time with heavyweight UFC fighter. So And if y'all don't believe me, then you're fucking dumb. You've never gotten into a serious fight in your life before. Because if somebody weighs 125 pounds and he goes up against somebody that weighs 250 pounds, he'd have a very difficult time defeating him. Unless
That's why you gotta keep a bat on you.
Even with the bat, you're gonna have some issues. So especially when they get larger and larger and larger, it's just like, dude, I guess we're gonna pretend that somebody that is 150 pounds can fuck up some dude that's 300 pounds easily. Like it's not easy. So yeah, I'll leave that there. But
well,
it's also like his hair. He doesn't seem like I don't know.
There's that Batman swag or that Bruce Wayne swag.
Yeah,
maybe out there just fucking laying down bitches.
I'll watch the new trailer, but I'm not impressed thus far. But also, you know, when they first announced, to be fair, that Ben Affleck was gonna be Batman, I was like, oh, you know, Ben Affleck, Batman, whatever. And then he played Batman, and I was like, you're right, Cronus, you are right. He fucking sucks as Batman. So you know what? I'm reinforcing my own fucking shit. He probably does.
Yeah,
he probably is gonna suck. So there you go. I can't full circle. Fuck that guy. Just saying. I know him as Cedric Diggory. And Cedric Diggory only.
kind of piggyback on what Cronus was saying. Like, I know this is supposed to be like year one Batman. Like, so
That's
he's
true.
not
Yeah.
like he doesn't have like that physique. Like, he hasn't built up his body and stuff like that. But like if you watch the Batman, which was an animated show, like Batman like would get his ass kicked a lot, but like he just before it took him a while to actually come up with the persona of Batman. So I mean, him not being like physically fit isn't a big problem. Like him being smaller, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but
he can't be that small.
it's almost like watching it's another fucking Spider-Man movie. Like we can see Batman grow into a role, and it's like we've seen this like over and over again. Like it's something that we haven't really had a year one Batman thing though. Like it's
I mean, you're right, but I mean at the same time, even when I talk shit about, you know, Ben Affleck not being a good Batman, but
he wasn't a good Batman though. You're right on that one.
I thought Ben brought it. Yeah, but anyway, go ahead.
But you're terrible. So you know, there's that.
Go ahead.
I'm fucking with you. Everybody that's listening, you should know that. But when I will give Ben Affleck's Batman some credit on when they were showing him like doing the montage of him like lifting heavy weights and him like, you know, getting way bigger to like, because it's just one of those things like as somebody that you know does martial arts, like yes, there are some things that you can let go. Like you can be of a certain size up to a certain point, and then there's no way you're gonna get around like these certain like just like basic physics issues of like somebody that's way larger than you like fucking you up. So maybe they will address that in the movie, and then if they address it in the movie of him being like sleight of frame, then maybe then he'll take some fucking, you know, eat fucking 20 chickens a day and fucking take some steroids and you know get yoked. But yeah, I don't see it.
I'm with you, and you have to be able to suspend your disbelief. I mean, I'm being very candid with you. I was pretty bored with that. Like I said, that pilot episode of Hawkeye. I haven't watched any more of that, but she was taking on some 6'6", I don't know, Eastern European goons and handling them, and I was like, I just kind of rolled my eyes because I mean, she's like a frail, maybe 105 pound, you know. 5'2".
But she ain't Batman.
And I know they said that she had martial arts skills or whatever, but
she ain't fucking Batman.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying, in terms of, you know, it needs to look believable-ish to the average person. And for me, when I was seeing that, I had to roll my eyes hard as fuck, and I was like, this ain't for me. But so I'm with you on that. But I'm also thinking, hopefully, that this is early Batman, like Blue was saying. And the other thing is, the fight scenes that you see little snippets of in the trailer look convincing and fun. So that's what convinced me quite a bit. You know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So wait, so kind of on the table a little bit. So I went back to look up Eartha Kitt, and I did not know this, but she is the one that sings the song "Santa Baby."
Of
Like
course.
the classic. Like I don't know why I always thought it was fucking Marilyn Monroe that sung that song.
No. Well,
Which
maybe
is
she did a version.
Yeah, I should be slapped for it, but I'm listening to it right now. I'm like, holy shit! Like, you want a ring? I'll give you a ring. Like, her voice is so like sensual. It's fucking crazy, but
Earth was bad in her day. You know.
yeah, she
No,
was.
no doubt about that. Yeah.
But did you watch the Matrix movie on HBO?
I have not. I still need to fucking do that. But go ahead, man. Go talk about it.
Oh god, so this movie, it's coming out. There's the reviews are so fucking mixed. Like, you see people loving it, you see people hating it. There's like people talking about like they should just end the franchise back at 3. But overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie. Like, it wasn't better than the first one. Like, the first one, so like the #1 movie. But like this one, it was fun. They constantly kept kind of throwing like the whole Matrix nostalgia down your fucking throat, which was kind of annoying. But like, the fight scenes were cool. We got to see like what happens after after Neo dies and stuff like that. But like, I don't. Overall, it was a good movie. There's a lot of tie-in. I thought Neil Patrick Harrison character was fucking really cool. NPH was fucking great in that. And I'm trying not to get too many spoilers, but yeah, it was just, I thought it was interestingly, it was done like the way they did it was interesting. Like how I would picture it, it wasn't what I would thought, but the way it was done was kind of cool. And then again, it's like, it's been what, like 20 years since the last Matrix or what?
Just about.
Yeah, and they like is what's so funny. They kind of ties into the movie. Like the movie is aware of its own existence, which is kind of fucking crazy. And they kind of touch on this in the trailer. It's not too much of a spoiler, but overall I thought it was cool. I had a good time watching it. And it's kind of funny because like it's probably one of the first movies I ever watched. Halfway through, it had to stop just because I kind of didn't have time to finish the rest. So I watched the first half, stopped at like a major plot point, and I had to continue watching it the next day. And I actually might go back and watch it again, like so I can watch it straight through. But yeah, I thought it was a really fun movie.
I do that all the time. That's one of the beauties of watching stuff streaming. Like, because I've started what was it, the Suicide Squad. I hadn't seen it ever, and I watched it with my son. And we watched maybe the first 40 minutes one night, and then like took a break for 2 days. You know what I mean? And came back to it like, oh, let's finish it off. Jumped right back on in. It's fine to do that with streaming.
That's what's so great about streaming is that you have that option where you could do that. Where like with like Spider-Man No Way Home, like you got to go to the fucking theater and get fucking COVID. But we're talking about The Matrix Resurrection. Is that what it's called?
Resurrections.
Yeah, what's your take on it? Because Carlos, you watched it, right?
Yeah, of course I did. Honestly, there were some issues with the movie, but I was not that critical of it because I got to see The Matrix again. I'm just saying, to be honest, there's a nostalgia factor for me, and that will give me a higher score of the movie than probably most people, and I'm biased, so. Yeah, but I understand the criticism with the movie, 100%. But I still fucking liked it.
Yeah, I said that too. I liked it. Like the nostalgia factor was cool. I mean, they kind of shoved it down your throat like a lot in that fucking movie, but I mean, that was cool. Plus, it was like based in fucking San Francisco. But then like they brought a lot of gaming elements into it too. Like like before we had like I don't want to spoil it too much, but like. There's some gaming elements in there that if you're a Call of Duty fan, you might like it a little bit, but I guess we'll see.
Well, what was funny is like I was watching it and I saw like the CGI parts. I was like, this looks like the new Unreal Engine, and then sure enough, like at the end, it was like it was in the Unreal 5 engine. I was like, okay, yeah, that seems like Unreal 5. So yeah. Prodigy, what did you think? I didn't hear your thoughts on it.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping to see it maybe I don't know tonight, tomorrow or Friday, but I will.
So keep your thoughts like even keeled. It's not the best movie in the world, but I still enjoyed it. Like, The Matrix will always have a special place in my heart because of the idea, and even even after I read a book that literally where the Matrix got their idea from. I think it was called like the Jesus Christ. I forgot the name of the fucking book, but I read it a while back. But it literally they call it the Matrix, and it's the fucking Matrix. But it's still I still love the idea of the movie. I still love the fact that I can see, you know, my favorite characters. We're missing some in the movie. I'm not gonna say who, but I like that. The Matrix is one of the easiest movies to like keep remaking in a loop because it's a fucking loop, and they told you it was a fucking loop in the first fucking movies, so they can just keep doing it. And I think that some people don't understand that.
I would say that's kind of like it's kind of what they do with like time traveling, like Star Trek. Like literally, they can that whole franchise could just basically go over the same fucking story with a whole new cast just because they went back in time one fucking time and changed everything. But then also the same is true for okay, what franchise? Like the DC universe could do it too. But oh fuck, there was one I was just thinking of, but I just slipped my fucking mind. But yeah, like the whole what's cool about the Matrix franchise, at least for the first one, was that like they basically tease about how like, you know, maybe it's reality real, and are we really in a simulation? And that was kind of what's so great about the first one. And the Resurrection just kind of like it kind of teetered on that a little bit, but not too much. Like I think if they would have teetered more on that, like, you know, this is why things are different. And like it's funny because there was a comedian who said that the reason why there isn't many payphones around anymore is because they want to keep you in the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's
like,
pretty good.
when's the last time you saw a fucking payphone? Like
It's been a minute.
last time I saw a payphone, if you go to Velasco Park in Campbell, they have like Christmas lights and stuff there during the holidays, but there's one fucking payphone there. That's like the only payphone you fucking see. Actually, I have a picture on my Instagram, but like, yeah, you don't fucking see payphones anymore. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's not ridiculous because like, why you need a fucking payphone?
Do you remember? Sorry, real quick. Do you remember going to look for the fucking cell phone from the Matrix, like the one that just like popped out anytime you would go to a cell phone store?
It was like $5 million back in fucking the early. I'm sorry, the late '90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, dude, it was either that you can. There was a point where you can buy like a fucking case, and all it did was just slide a little door that just lets you see your fucking keyboard.
Yeah, but the actual phone.
I went that route.
The actual phone was like $1,000 back then.
Damn.
Which is like basically $1 million fucking dollars today. So yeah.
You know what's kind of crazy too is that like in Iron Man, like Tony Stark had a fucking phone that like the screen flipped sideways, so it went from like portrait to like full screen horizontal mode or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that cell phone was like a couple of $1,000s too. Like movie ads for stuff, it could be profitable for the companies. If done right.
Yeah, so real quick,
profitable, yeah.
I was talking about a book that the Matrix kind of, I don't want to say stole ideas from, but definitely parallel thinking. I'm just saying. If you go, I'm trying to find my
like doing Star Wars
thing. If you go and read, there's a really good book called The Neuromancer. It's called Neuromancer, and it's by William Gibson. And literally, he uses the word "the Matrix," and it literally describes the Matrix. So, yeah, it's like, but it's also a really good book. But he doesn't say like his version of the Matrix is not people being used as batteries, but it's like them going into like quote unquote cyberspace. And this book was made in like, I want to say the 80s. Yeah, it was in like 84. So yeah. Hold on, did somebody like one of you message me? What happened here? Oh,
I didn't message. Did I message?
No, I got a message on the chat. It's fine. We're good.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I plan on seeing it. I got a little bit busy. I love the franchise. I want them to still do more. Look, I mean, truth be told, we've had some questionable, or even bad, or flat out bad Star Wars movies. We've had some bad Star Trek movies. You know what I mean? And those franchises kept chugging along, and they're going to continue to chug along.
Yeah, bad
So
fucking
a
Marvel
good
movies.
franchise can even have a bad movie or two, or a mediocre movie or two, and still keep winning.
Yeah, let me set some realistic expectations. The Matrix Resurrection is not as good as the first Matrix, but it's not as bad as the other Matrix movies.
Okay,
So it's
I
not
agree.
it's not the best one, but it's not the worst one.
that's fair. That's fair. I'm just glad they're still making them. I really am.
Me
So
too. Yeah,
I
that's the
plan
first
on
thing I said.
definitely doing it.
Yeah, I want to see more. I don't give a fuck even if they were bad movies. I still want to see more because I love the idea. I love the idea of the Matrix.
Did you?
I was just gonna real quick say the thing about it. Like everybody wants great movies, great movies, great movies. There are fun bad movies too, and nobody likes to admit that sometimes. Like it could be a shitty movie that's actually fun, and you just fucking personally love it. That can happen.
Yeah. So what is your
Like-
what is a shitty movie that you love? Can you remember?
Ooh. In terms of shitty one, I mean, I love Saw.
Okay.
That's not a great.
I'm sorry, shitty by other
it's a
people's
Saw
standards,
franchise.
but not by your standards. But movies that were shitty by like critics and other people, but were not shitty to you. That you
Saw
love.
3, 4, 5.
Okay.
For me, like, okay, y'all guys, I know you guys hated these fucking movies, but I actually like X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh shit!
Like, I know we talked about the shit. Like, I mean, it wasn't a fucking perfect movie. It wasn't like, wow, this is fucking like the best Marvel movie or a Marvel comic book movie I've ever seen. But I don't know, just the whole fight scene at the end. Like, I don't know, maybe it might have been my fascination with Olivia Munn and her being in the fucking movie that just sold it all for me. But even like when homegirl who plays I was gonna say Starfire, but homegirl who plays Jean Grey, like, I don't know, like when she gets into her powers, I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of fucking badass. And we had like the 4 Horsemen with like Magneto and shit like that, and I thought that was all fucking kind of cool. But there was other parts I didn't like. But then another movie that didn't get much credit is like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Like, that movie is one of those movies that it's a cult classic. Like, it didn't do well in theater, but it did really well like in movie sales and like, I guess, popularity. Like, Scott Pilgrim is probably it's probably the best comic book adaptation of the best movie adaptation or both comic adaptation of a comic book. Yeah. Also, like, it did a really good job of being like, if Scott Pilgrim was a video game before like the movie came out, it would have been a very good video game movie because it just had the whole like fight scenes and like characters injury.
I thought they did have the game first.
It was
Well, no, they did make a game for it, but it was after.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like 8/16 bit, so there's that.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
fun though. I liked that game.
Oh, that game was a lot of fun. It was hard to fucking pass though. Like you can't play the game by yourself.
And
You need it.
I'm a fucking sucker for the Double Dragon nostalgia games, like the beat 'em up.
Yeah, me too.
No, do you remember River City Ransom?
Of course.
That was one of the greatest games of all fucking time. I have no idea why they have not made another one. Because I remember, like, the first time I played it, it was basically like a Japanese port that I played, but it was so awesome.
Yep.
Anyway,
I looked this up.
you
Yeah.
haven't played it?
All of the Streets of Rage.
But this is like River City Ransom. It puts to shame Streets of Rage, Double Dragon, all those fucking side scroller, fucking whatever, beat 'em ups. River City Ransom was the shit because you could upgrade your character with like crazy shit. Anyway, one of my favorite movies that.
Hey, quick little thing. What's crazy about Double Dragon is that when you get to the end, because I remember me and my friend, we had this on the NES. We get to the fucking end, and the fact that you have to fucking fight the other player to get the girl, like, come on, man, like that's some.
I mean, that's
you
real
can
life
have
shit right
you can have all kind of life left like there, but like, holy shit, that shit was fucked up. Yeah, what you think of?
That's real life shit. You got to fight your best friend to get the girl.
Life lessons.
I mean, that's one of the Blues life lessons. You should have fought him. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should have, but I ended up.
You would have won. It's all good.
But then he lost against somebody else to get the other girl.
That is true.
Yeah.
Everybody's like,
what
what the
was
fuck
your
are they
movie?
talking about right now?
His track record is pretty low.
Yeah. Me and
What
Blue,
was your
we
movie?
go back a long time.
Long
So,
fucking time.
yeah. Anyway, one of my favorite movies that deserves more credit is Equilibrium.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that movie, and people like it does not have high reviews, and it's
That was a good fucking movie too.
yeah, it's great action and also like almost like not a premonition, but it's like it's not premonition, but how do I put it? People are still like using drugs to control themselves to this day, like their emotional states to this day.
Like ADHD and shit like that. And
Yeah, and like using like all these other crazy drugs that we think are normal now, but they shouldn't really be. Just people need to understand like your reality is a reality, and like learn how to cope with your reality. Reality kind of sucks. Like I get that it sucks, but yeah, but also gun katas are great. If you don't know what gun kata is, look up gun kata and then watch Equilibrium. The Equilibrium's intro has one of my favorite intros of all time. Like him
Nice.
doing his gun kata, and then he puts his guns down, and then his guns are fucking still like glowing from him shooting all the bullets. Fuck! My dick was hard. I'm just saying.
Yep.
That
That's good shit.
shit was great.
That's good
you know,
shit.
I would say that's probably my favorite Christopher Christian Bell movies.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he did Batman movies, he was in Batman movies, but yeah, like the Batman that franchise isn't actually my favorite.
Fucking Ted Diggs was in it.
Wow.
So was Sean Bean. I'm just saying he died, obviously, because
Yes.
it's fucking Sean Bean in the movie. If Sean Bean is in the movie, he's gonna fucking die.
This is a truth. This is a truth. All right. Should we wrap it on up, guys?
Let's do it.
I think it's that time, that magical hour. Blue, what you got populating this week, goddammit?
Oh shit. Fucking New Year's. New Year's is
Oh, yeah.
fucking coming up. We're fucking 2 days away from 2021 being over and 2020 part 2 taking place again.
Yeah.
Our 2022. But yeah, not too much happening. Like we're gonna have lunch, or the Swedish and I have the tradition. We're going to Cheesecake Factory on New Year's Eve, and we're gonna do that with some friends. But one friend was like, "Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna go because there's a thing called the fucking Omicron curry on Percy I ate." And we're like, "Oh shit, we fucking forgot about that shit." But
Hold on, real quick before he even finishes that, he didn't invite any of us. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. So yeah, shit. It's a tradition with me and her, and she like
and your friends,
Anyway.
but not us. But it's all good. Go
Yeah, it's just
Hard.
ahead.
Hard as ass.
no, it's not me, it's her. But anyways, yeah, we're just gonna get food to go, bring it home, have a little traditional thing like there's a Mexican tradition where like you eat, I think it's like it's either 12 grapes or 1 grape for every year of that time or something. I think it's 12 grapes. It's just 12 grapes.
I don't know
Makes
this.
Yeah, when it hits midnight, you have to eat like 12 grapes before like the minute rolls over or something like that. For like as a good luck, like out of like prosperity or something like that. I don't know. I do it
You
because
said
it's
this
fucking
is a
fun.
Mexican thing or a her family thing?
I think it's a Mexican thing.
No, it
Like,
is.
you have to eat some.
It's a Spanish thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
and
You have to eat a bunch of grapes.
yeah, it's 12 grapes.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to read the rest because I'm not Mexican or Spanish at all, but it's a good luck thing.
Yeah, it's a good luck thing. You have to eat 12 grapes within that fucking minute
Yeah.
before the New Year's kind of actually roll in. But I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be our, our son, he's like, it's gonna be his birthday's coming up too, so it's like, fuck, like, dude, like, but yeah, other than that, like I'm playing I'm playing Kino on the PS5 again.
I love that game.
Right now, PlayStation Network have like a lot of fucking games, like holiday sales, like a lot of games are like 30 and 40% off. I know Prodigy and Old Ninja, they're playing B4B or Back for Blood. That right now is like I think like $30 for the game, but like if you buy the deluxe version, it's like 54, but you get like the season pass and stuff like that.
Get it.
Fucking Man-Eater. We fucking skipped over this. I don't even know how this fucking skipped our radar, but Man-Eater, their DLC dropped back in August.
I think it's
and
free,
that shit's
right?
Like,
Isn't it free?
I don't know, it's $11.
Oh fuck it!
For
The
the
game was
DLC,
fucking
but
awesome though.
Yeah,
I'll pay the extra money.
I think it's $19, but it might be cheaper than that, but that's part of the holiday sale too. But then also I know Cronus is playing this, but Deathloop is on there too for sale. So all these games on the PSN network, there's a good fucking list of games on there, and I'm gonna try to pick them all up, man, because like I haven't squad up with Prodigy in like a fucking while. Like I need to get back into my gaming too, because I keep talking about shit every time, but like my PS5 is sitting there on my wall looking fucking pretty like a goddamn trophy. But yeah, I definitely gotta play it. But yeah, other than that, just watching my kid finally one quick little thing. So for our son, we did this thing called baby-led weaning, which basically you let your kid. Yeah. So there's this thing where basically what you do is like you feed your kid like solid foods, but you give them like how can I explain it? So like if I gave my kid, I would give him broccoli, but it wouldn't be blended. Like I would give him actually like a little like a tree of broccoli for him to eat on. Like, even though he wouldn't like chew it and like swallow it, eat it and stuff like that, I'll give it to him so he can learn that like, hey, yeah, I can grab this, I can put it in my mouth, I can bite on it, and like he might get a few pieces in his mouth and blah blah blah, but eventually he'll learn that like, okay, I can take this food and put it in my mouth and I can bite into it and it can get into my mouth and I can chew it. So he learns how to fucking chew and stuff like that. So he's been doing that since he was 4 months, and he's 9 months now, so he's been doing that for like 5 months now. And today at his daycare, I made him a to-go box of, it's a small little box, it was very small, pasta with meatballs, stuff like that. And the daycare was like, yeah, your son, we got some food from your son, but it's like big chunk. It's like they didn't believe that he can eat it. I'm like, well, if you can't eat it, like just you can go ahead and smash it up, whatever not. And like the daycare was like super impressed that he was able to fucking eat it. Like my son has 3 teeth right now. He's got 2 on the bottom and 1 on the top. And he was like, it's not his first time having it. Like I gave him some all the fucking time. He can sit there, pick a piece in the mouth, chew. Old people got no fucking teeth, and they could gum the shit out of fucking food. Like basically do the same goddamn thing. So like he literally like gums the food and swallows it and like gets more. I mean, it's fucking crazy. But like
they have dentures, but yeah, kids.
Oh, they have dentures.
100% kids. This is one of the things that I think both me and Blue have read the Montessori books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let your kids learn their own limits. And I think that's one of the things I took away from those books is like they can do way more than you think they can, but I think that parents really limit them.
And it's crazy because like the first thing you think of is that, oh, your kid's gonna choke, your kid's gonna fucking choke. Okay, so the kid, like there's choking and there's gagging. Like he would swallow something that's too big and he'll like and spit it back out. But he knows that like, okay, this is too big to go in my mouth, and that it's rare for him to gag on food. Like he knows his fucking like I had to give him a bigger spoon just because like he can handle more food in his mouth, which is fucking crazy. It's interesting. Like if any look it up if you're on here right now, your spouse is pregnant, look up baby-led weaning, or if you have a kid, like look up like baby-led weaning, and you can see that like your kid can handle like foods that are like you can go to a restaurant and be like, okay, here, like do you want to give him an adult plate? Like there's limitations, but it's very interesting. Like definitely look into it. Like it's interesting to see your kid eat kind of the same food you're eating, which is great.
That's awesome, dude. Proud dad.
Yeah, dude.
All right, Cronus, what you got?
Oh, well, the new year uh, will be at the end of this week, so Happy New Year to everybody. You know what's weird to me is that every time I say Happy New Year, I have to edit off the S off of New Year's, and I don't understand why the fuck I still have to think about not saying New Year's and just say New Year. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
It's a black lisp. That's
I
why I
guess
always
it
call
is.
it Squid Games.
yeah, it's gonna keep bothering me. But anyway, I'll get over it. Yeah, this year has been shitty, just like 2020, and I hope next year will be better. Um, and hope maybe next year we'll be moving to closer to Prodigy, hopefully in the same city.
Hey.
But we will see. I think we're both kind of convinced to move down there, and yeah. So for all of you that are listening to this podcast, I hope all of you have a really good next year, because obviously you're not gonna listen to us before next year, because it's on what, Friday or some shit.
Saturday, really?
Saturday. Yeah, it's New Year. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. This has been actually a really good year for this podcast. And I really appreciate all of you listening to us, watching us, however you consume our content. I appreciate it for all of you listening. And yeah, hopefully if, coronavirus calms the fuck down and people get on board with like not infecting each other with fucking deadly diseases, we can get back out there and like see you all again and get back to doing conventions and doing interviews and stuff like that. But this year, honestly, the past 2 years have not been. It hasn't been great as far as like what we have wanted to do for the podcast.
Yep.
It's been terrible.
Yeah.
Our numbers
Yep.
have gone up, probably because of people like staying at home and shit like that. But we normally have like much better content. Well, not much better. We have other content.
It's more coherent when we're all together. We don't have motherfuckers
Well, it's not even just
internet dropping off.
It's not even just more coherent. It's just like we used to have like, celebrity guests on, and we've had very popular podcasts with the guests on. But I think it's difficult for us to all be like remote and have a guest on. But hopefully next year we can get back to doing that shit. And hopefully we can get back to seeing you all in conventions and shit like that. But man, thank you all for still listening to this podcast over the past 2 years. I hope you all are safe, and I hope you all stay healthy. So I'll leave it at that. That's all I got.
Wait, what? I'm gonna throw one quick thing in there. So Spotify has this annual thing where you can see what podcast you listen to the most over that year or whatever you listen to the most. So I want to put a challenge out there for anybody who can screenshot their list, and if we're number one on that list, and if on the list, I think it shows like how many hours you've listened to that podcast. And I would say anybody who has like a really high number, I will personally buy them a copy of Deathloop.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah,
because they might not have a PS5. So, whoever has like the highest listenership, if you're a gamer, we will collectively buy you whatever game for your whatever console that you have, whatever game you want, we'll get it.
But we won't buy you PS5.
Yeah, well, only because they're hard to come by. Like if it was easy to come by, I wouldn't have a problem doing it. But or if you're a book reader, whatever book that you want, if you're whatever sort of medium that you consume the most, we'll buy that thing for you. So yeah.
Even you might a gift card. I think a gift card would be kind of good if you have a PlayStation, Xbox. If you have fucking a Spotify, if you have Amazon, this and that, like, yeah, we'll buy you a gift card.
Yeah. So if you email us at bthanbti@gmail.com, that's bthanbti@gmail.com, and send us a screenshot of like your highest listening podcast or whatever, and you'll be in. So there you go. Super easy.
awesome because
January.
I love it when we come up with giveaway stuff like literally on the fly. It is fun.
And we hold on real quick. When we say giveaways, like we're legit. Like anytime we do giveaways, like we literally do it. Like there was a couple of like last year or 2 years ago or something like that. Like we gave away like a game. Even before that, we gave away another game or some shit like that. But we make sure they take pictures of it, put it on whatever social media. Like we're not bullshit. Like this isn't like some bullshit of like, oh well, you know, listen to our podcast and get a PS5. I already said you're not gonna get a PS5 only because they're fucking too hard to come by. I'm not gonna get a bot to buy you a fucking PS5. But if we can get a PS5 easily, then that'd be easier. So.
Well, then again, like I mean, we're looking at just Spotify numbers, but if you have, I think, not Spotify, Spotify. But like SoundCloud, if your SoundCloud numbers are like fucking up there, screenshot that shit. If you can prove that you watched hella episodes of this podcast, because I think I listen to Player FM, and on there like if you listen to a podcast, that should be grayed out. So, but it doesn't show you like when you listen to it. This contest is fucking hard. Yeah, we'll just do Spotify. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll just do Spotify because that shit's annually.
More than just Spotify. But anyway, go ahead.
Good shit. Definitely fucking with the Matrix. Definitely fucking with some Back for Blood over this New Year's Eve weekend. And then shout out to the fact that those Golden Nug plants are going to be coming in early January. I love the fact that people get the chance, our listeners get a chance to vote on the best and worst shit of the goddamn year. The greatest thing ever is the fact that it's a collection from us of the things that we recommend or absolutely fucking hate. And so it's unlike anything else, and you get to fucking decide. It's not like the Oscars or whatever, where there's some elitist people deciding for you. So that's coming soon. That's it.
All right, take us out here, man.
Listen to it. You know where to fucking listen to us. We're all over the goddamn internet. You know what time it is. You're listening right now. Goddamn it. You understand. Beat and BTI. Check us out. Fuck with us. Hit us up on social media or on beatandbti@gmail. Show us your Spotify #1 thing that Blue mentioned in terms of #1 watch or listen to podcast. And then please be safe over the new year. Please.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
He's muted.
Oh, I muted myself because I left. But yeah, you can't forget about our website at benhatproduction/BTI, and they also are on Amazon, Spotify, SoundCloud,
Everywhere.
this and that, Facebook. Just Google us and you'll find us. After you hear the blacker than the blackest coffee from Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse, yeah. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Where are they?